Yeah, check it out, check it out.
He's locked in.
Yeah, check it. Hot damn black America again. Think of Sandra Bland as I'm staring in the wind. The color of my skin, they comparing it to sin. The darker it gets, the less fair it has been. The hate made, I inherited from them. But I ain't gonna point the finger. We got anointed singers like Nina, Marvin, Billy, Stevie. Need to hear them songs sometimes to believe me. Who freed me? Lincoln a Cadillac, drinking a battle raps. Or is it Godspeed that we travel at? Endangered in our own habitats. Them guns and dope, man. Y'all can have it back. As a matter of fact, we them lab rats. You built the projects for, now you want your hood back. I guess if you could rap, you would express it too. That PTSD, we need professionals. You know what pressure do. It makes the pipes bust from schools to prison, y'all. They trying to pipe us to your political parties, invite us instead of making voting laws to spite us. You know, we from a family of fighters, fought in your wars and our wars. You put a nigga in Star Wars, maybe you need two. And then maybe then we'll believe you. See black people in the future. We wasn't shipped here to rob and shoot ya. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal, including black Americans. Yeah, that's black America again. I'm gonna do another verse for me. Check it out. Check it out. From the same thing. Check it out. Check it. Keep that beat roll. Yo, we go here. We go. Here we go again. Trayvon will never get to be an older man. Black children, they childhood stole from them. Robbed of our names and our language. Stole again. Who stole the soul from black folk? Same man that stole the land from cheap black smoke and made the whip crackle on our back slow. Made us go through the back door and raffle black bodies on the slave blocks. Now we slave to the blocks, cause on them we spray shots. Leaving our own to lay in a box. Black mother stomach staying or not. We kill each other more than the cops. I wish the hating would stop. We are at war and a battle with us. I know that black lives matter. Do they matter to us? These are the things we gotta discuss. The new plantation, mass incarceration. Instead of educate, they rather convict the kids. As dirty as the water in Flint the system is. Is it a felony? Or a misdemeanor? Maria Sharapova making more than Serena. It took Viola Davis to say this. The roles of the help and the gangsters is really all they gave us. We need Avas, Ta-Nehisi's, and Cory Bookers. The salt of the earth to get us off of sugar and greasy foods. I don't believe the news or radio stereotypes we refuse. Brainwashed in the psycho to spin. We write our own story, Black America again.
Oh!
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. And first of all, shouts out to Black Megas. You got ripped off. Shouts out to Consider Cheek. Y'all subscribe to Consider Cheek channel and listen to the video she did earlier. Definitely every video she do is powerful. Y'all just subscribe to her and y'all support Rome in the Bush. And my brother Black Megas, y'all, I guess I gotta put the moderator on you so you can put your IG in the chat. The right one that you want to go to. Black Family Vanguard. I think that's the right one, right? So y'all subscribe to support my people right there. You know what I'm saying? And I also got to thank y'all, for supporting me and all of that stuff. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be pretty hard to, take the time to like do these lessons and stuff like that. But I think it's important for us to do that. So, yeah, Black Family Vanguard. I'm gonna get it right, bro. I'm gonna get it right. But yeah, so I'm gonna, and I'm gonna do this for anybody who has like questions or anything from like what we was talking about in the video. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to show, like some of the other things that I wanted to show. But before I do that, right? And I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but I got to do this because I haven't been live like all week. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to talk about other things that has happened in this last week since I haven't been on, if you think it's worth talking about. But if we don't talk about it anyway, then I don't really want to hear about it. But let me do this, right? Okay, hold
on. New and existing
kind of looked at Jesse and called him slow. Today, you'd call him mentally retarded. They claimed Jesse raped and murdered a white woman by the name of Lucy Fryer. They put Jesse on trial, and he was convicted by an all-white jury after they deliberated for only 4 minutes.
My brothers in Christ, Nobel Prize recipient,
The mob grabbed Jesse, put a chain around his neck, and dragged him out of the courthouse. I knew I had to hide.
That way. Be careful, brother.
And I could see the crowd. They marched Jesse through the streets. They stabbed him and beat him. And finally, in a bloody heap, they held him down in the street and cut off his testicles.
The invisible hands, real men, and right.
We're out there watching him. They cut off his fingers and threw coal oil all over his body. They lit a bonfire and raised him and lowered him over these flames, over and over and over again.
Ron Stallworth, are you a white, non-Jewish American citizen?
Yes.
Yes. Are you willing to dedicate the spirit?
He came and took pictures of the whole thing. Those pictures were later sold as postcards.
All right, yeah. So y'all gotta forget, they probably gonna cut this video off for that, but you know, and I feel what you're saying, you got ripped off, but you know, I don't, because he, what I'm saying, I would play that because that's the thing that I think was the best thing. That's the favorite thing of mine that he's done, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So I just did have to mention it, you know what I'm saying? Because of some of the other things we mentioned. But like, okay, so I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but I'm gonna go through some stuff so we could talk about like the subject. So but to make sure we're talking about the subjects that we talked about on the show, or on the live or on the session, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna kind of stick to the whatever, because I don't got all night to be on here and I ain't trying to make it long or whatever. Well, yeah, exactly, Cassandra, exactly. So, all right, let me start off what I'm gonna start, like some of the things that we was mentioning. And like I said, man, any of the things that I mentioned on here. All right, my brother Black Magus in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, BB448, Black Liberation.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna wait for you to finish showing the things that you said that you were gonna get into, because I don't like cutting you off to rush the subject matter. Go ahead, get into it.
Okay. All right, so we're going. All right.
Oh man, and now my elder calling me.
Oh. Yo, DeMarcus, what up, my brother? Appreciate you for coming through. Like, I appreciate all of y'all coming through and showing me support on that too, because I've seen some people that I've been seeing in my comments since I first started to now.
Baba.
All right, so yeah, while I do this, you know what I'm saying, while he on there, just let me know when you come back, my brother. All right, so I'm gonna show some of the stuff I was gonna show, right? So I did mention the Haitian Revolution thing, right? And then I mentioned like Thomas Jefferson, and my brother made a good point, you know what I'm saying? Because Gabriel Prosper did know about the Haitian Revolution, and you know what I'm saying, he got word from different things that was going on, because the brother was a blacksmith, so he can go around. He went to different plantations and he raised people up, you know what I'm saying? But you know, with the Haitian Revolution, this is why good old TJ was against it. So I'm not going to be long on this, but I just wanted to mention this.
Where you're at. You should have one guy running the place for all time, because the idea didn't grab onto here. So he thought, well, maybe these guys will, maybe they'll like my idea. But in 1800, when Thomas Jefferson was elected president, that's when pretty much all connection with what would become Haiti was severed completely. Because yes, Jefferson was a fan of the French Revolution. He helped the Marquis de Lafayette draft a declaration during the French Revolution while he was in France.
I don't even know if this do worth it. All right.
But at the same time, while he was a fan of the idea of these slaves declaring independence on their own island, he didn't really want that influence to bleed over into the United States. Because remember, Jefferson was still a slave owner. Not to mention that Southern statesmen exerted a lot of influence in the American Congress during Thomas Jefferson's presidency. So if TJ were to try to reach out to Saint-Domingue and give them...
They really do call him good old TJ. Well, anyway. But I want you to understand, and why I'm showing this, right? Because at this point in time, right, especially when some serious revolution stuff is going on, Black people is linking up globally, working together. They're putting aside their tribal differences, whatever they may be, because they all in a bad enough situation where that is possible. You know what I'm saying? And they did it, but you know.
Southern statesmen exerted a lot of influence in the American Congress during Thomas Jefferson's presidency. So if TJ were to try to reach out to Saint-Domingue and give them aid, give Louverture's army aid, probably upset the Southern congressmen. They would be up in arms and they might consider seceding from the new Union. So Jefferson did what he...
Oh yeah, by the way, that would have been the thing the whole time. The successions and trade. You know, white on white crime is the original crime, probably. So
believed he could do to try to save face. He cut off all the aid that the island was receiving from the Adams administration. And on top of that, when Haiti declared independence in 1804, Jefferson refused to recognize their independent status. And the United States would not recognize Haiti as an independent nation until 1862, in the middle of the Civil War, after the South seceded from the Union. But what's funny, though, is that...
Ain't that something?
And they still don't.
Right. Yeah, and you wonder why they use that date, because it's strategic placement where we need you Negroes to join the army here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh yeah, you can jump in anytime you want to, Black Megas. Just letting you know.
No, I was gonna wait for you to finish with this video.
Okay.
That an argument could be made that if it were not for the Haitian Revolution, the United States might not have doubled the size of its territory via the Louisiana Purchase. Because see, since Napoleon's troops were beaten in Saint-Domingue, he could no longer use the Louisiana territory as a place to grow food and supply food for what would, in his mind, be the reinvigorated plantation system in Saint-Domingue, because Napoleon was going to beat these troops and then bring back slavery to the island. So since Napoleon no longer had any use for that land, why not sell it to the United States? Walk away with $15 million, and the United States gets to expand its nation. Decision. That, my friends, is it for this episode.
All right, because I'm getting ahead of myself right there anyway, because we ain't even got to the Louisiana Purchase stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yo, you wanted to say something though?
So to first jump back into the Gabriel Prosser thing, man. So what Willie Lynch letter was supposedly written in the 1700s. Enslavement first started in the late 1400s. So that gave them roughly about 200 years, 230 years, I think, before, the supposed writing of that letter, right? Now, during that 200-year span, there were, small encampments of Black people on this territory, who were brought to this territory. Let me rephrase that before somebody start thinking I'm talking about some Aboriginal Black people here, man. Yet and still, you've had Black people who were on this land, or African people, I should say, who was on this land doing the thing. But then you still had those of us who were enslaved. The dynamic that has to be talked about amongst all of that is the dynamic of inaction amongst our people collectively, whether they were enslaved or, supposed, quote unquote free. When you do have these leaders across the Americas who did stand up to the enslavement, right? It just took something that they don't even have to do now. It just took the killing of the leader to quell that entire energy, right? There was no transference of power in those days. Granted, in a sense, there was no power to begin with. It was the charisma, the charismatic leader of the enslaved, people that even got others to march and move forward. Do we think that, well, not do we think, we can look at history, right? Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, the quote unquote, the German slave, the German coastal uprising, as they call it, which was the slave revolt in Louisiana back in 1811. There were over 200, I think white historians document that there's like 200 something slave rebellions in the country, while black historians says something more along the lines of like 313, where it shows that the enslaved, though while enslaved, they try to say that the actual oppressors were enslaved too, in the sense that they had to keep it one eye open, right? Like I can't remember the actual what's the little anagram, or not anagram, but there's a little anecdotal thing that says something about the person who's watching the prisoner is also imprisoned as well, because you have to always constantly keep your eye on that person, while that person always has to keep their eye on you. So it locks both of you into an entrenching war. But yet and still, they take out the leaders of these, and yet the people, right? And this is something that Tariq Nasheed talks about, that he actually gets right when he says that there is no leader. Though when he says it, he's literally talking about that there is no leader. I don't think that the people understand that, he is the leader, and that if he was to drop off, like, it's not y'all job to mourn over me. It's your job to do as John Henry Clark said, bury the man, continue to plan. And that's what we don't see in these rebellions of our people throughout their enslavement, is that once these leaders were taken out, that wasn't your okay, let me go back to sleep call. You were supposed to continue doing what they were doing, right? How many I think Prosser had 70, no, Nat Turner had 70. Vesey had, I think what was it, about I think almost 1,000, because he was supposed to link up with the Haitians as well. Prosser had about 1,000, and yet you will have, again, like the sister spoke about, you will have those who aren't connected to it. Like there's going to be some dissension. Well, guess what? What should have been talked about is that which Harriet Tubman talked about. Like, you're gonna get this gun. Like people think that she kept the gun for their protection. Her protection also meant taking out those traitors who would, dissent and go back to go snitch on everybody. Like, that's the safety of not just me, but you're jeopardizing the lives of hundreds because you scared. And so our people should have did that. Like, you got to find out who are those amongst the group who ain't with the group, so that we could take them out and continue with the plan. And that's something that our people didn't practice. And even those who were quote unquote free, it should have 100% been their job and duty to see those who weren't freed to be free. when you were playing Harry Belafonte. All I could think about is again another quote. I can't remember who said it, right? That some people know about racism, white supremacy, but they're just looking for a better position in it, and that's where we get the boule from, right? That's where the whole Philly boule class come from. They know it exists and they're cool with it, as long as they have a place in it that's somewhere above that which those enslaved peoples are. Is all that they care about. And I see people like Hella Belafonte as that. Like, you did what you did, and I will give you a small round of applause for that. But you should be in this thick and thin from the day you choose to take up the fight to the day they put you in the ground. Like, period.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I feel what you're saying, and you know, and especially like with people like you know, like just because you know he passed away, I'm not even gonna say nothing. And I didn't even mention them before, just like I ain't mentioned a lot of people. But you know, it's difficult to say that when you have a white spouse at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother subject because he's no longer. You know.
Look, I could have went there too, but I didn't even choose to.
No, that's a whole other subject. That's a whole other subject. But anyway, yo, because there's a couple of things you said before we you know, move on. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot one of the things I was gonna say, but you know, and I agree with what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll be like, yo, there's a such thing as a suicide mission, and then there's a martyr. You know what I'm saying? You at least want to be a martyr, but right now, anything you do is a suicide mission, right? But all right, and so what I want to push back, you know what I'm saying? Not that I disagree or nothing, but just as pushback, you know what I'm saying? Like now, number one, there was some rebellion, like we talked about on the last one on the Takis rebellion. After he got knocked off, the other brother Pongo took the reins, you know what I'm saying, and kept going, you know what I'm saying. So even with the Haitian Revolution, you know, Toussaint fell victim to his love for other people, you know what I'm saying, and this People of Color coalition and linking up with everybody, you know what I'm saying. But Dessalines took the mantle and kept it moving, you know what I'm saying. But on the other hand, I do agree with you. So let me ask you this about Black leadership before we move on, right? So do you think that that's an issue with Black leadership, like as far as like being able to, like, as a part of Black leadership, to have the next man, like you, like, yo, you grooming the next person to take your spot because you know the mission you on is the mission that you're on, you know what I'm saying? But like, we recently talked about the NOI, right? You know what I'm saying? Not to get deep into that because I don't want to talk about that, you know, but like with Elijah Muhammad, right? You know, maybe it was like ego that you didn't want to have the right successor, or somebody may be popular, or they're not putting my face out there and it's your face. Like, but with certain movements or certain people, do you think it's our ego and stuff like that? And of course, you missed the Boule class, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't even gonna mention that. But you know, I'll just ask you that question.
So I'll take it back to I can sum up all of the organizations, everything that you said, with something spoken by Ezalee Danto, the historian and lawyer from out of IAT. She was on the podcast of a good brother and sister that I know up in New York, Thorough Black Talk. She spoke about the dynamic that people don't see when it comes to that rebellion, right? By speaking on Tantoya. Tantoya was a spiritual leader and a preparer of the soldiers. When, you know, because it was the war, you could really say, was broken into 3 phases because there were 3 different leaders. And when you examine that rebellion, that fight for freedom, you can examine it in 3 phases of those 3 leaders to see that each one of them brought it as far as they could until the next one picked up the torch to lead the way. But what is like unheard of in this type of thing is that none of the leaders really chose their successor. Their successor was chosen for them because they were being trained by the elder Chantoya up until, you know, the last leg of it had to be done. And so oh man, I don't know why right now the name is eluding me. The last person to finish off the war. What's his name again? I don't know why his name is eluding me right now.
Dessalines?
Dessalines. Okay. So he was being taught and raised since he was a child by one of our spiritual, you know, by their spiritual leader. While it was first even going on in the first leg of the war. And once the first leg was fought and won, he was now a teenager. Again, he still wasn't ready to go out though, you know, and especially when we look at men, right? Those being reared to fight, like that's all you want to do. Like that's all you want to do. And yet it's a warrior mother holding them back, letting them know you're not ready yet. He wasn't set to go off into the fight until he was ready. That's the issue that we have in the Black community, or in the Black nationalist sense, when it comes to leadership, is that first and foremost, a leader should be training their next upcoming, or at least putting together the foundation that will create the person who will take over. What I mean by that is they should be building the foundation, right? Building the community that will raise someone who will take up the mantle. You can't just be a person who came into this, like, again, we'll just take modern day context. You can't just invigorate the Black community and then think that the person who's going to take up the mantle when you pass on is someone who has to also be woken up from this, right? Like, you know how much work it took you to even get woke? You know, it takes 20, 30, 40 years sometimes for some people to get woke. And so we're supposed to expect that we're going to pass the mantle on to somebody who has to go through that process again? No. Therefore, we should be building that community. A leader of an organization should be building that community so that the leader is already, from the day he or she is born, is being reared to take over the leadership. That's what, when we even look at the nation, like, that's what the nation should have had been doing. And because of not doing that, when Elijah passed away, everything got fractured, and Wallace took it and went a whole different route. And, you know, Farrakhan built his false nation of Islam, as some people refer to it as, because that fraction was never actually I can't remember the exact words I'm trying to use, but that fraction has never, still to this day, been recognized by the Muslim world. And we see that he's doing the same exact thing. Like, who is he going to pass it down to? They should have been building that, especially if we use the nation as an example, right? Like, again, you call yourself the Nation of Islam. Well, where is your nation building if you haven't, you know, reared up the next leader? Like, that person should be getting ready to take over the reins, I would say, when the leader themselves has 20 to maybe close to 30 years at the head of power. Like, you don't need to sit, nobody should sit in power for too long, because we know that power will corrupt them. And we see time and time again in the Black community with any of these so-called organizations that are supposed to be about Black people, those who sit at power and never leave. Even when we look at some of these African nations, which a lot of these dudes were always hand chosen and picked anyway through, you know, CIA operatives and things like that. Everything always leads to corruption because those people have sat at power for too long.
Hey, look, they don't even believe me when I say that about dictators. That's what I'm trying to tell you. At least have a group of people, not one person. You know what I'm saying? I think you will always go wrong with one person as the leader.
Exactly.
For the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't care if it's me that's the leader. I might be wrong about something that'll destroy us all. You know what I'm saying?
But no leader should have absolute power either. A leader should always have a council. And that leader should always take, you know, the council serious in the sense of, you know, I will not move, you know, forward with the things that I say I'm going to do until I've at least, you know, consulted with them. Now, it's not to say that they have the power to change your mind, but they should have the power to infer some differences, to give you strategic looks and viewpoints to say, okay, if you go forward with this, then we have to think about, well, this may happen or that may happen. Like, no leader can see all perspectives. you just can't, especially if that leader, again, you're sitting at the head of the organization. That means you are not in touch with the groundworks people as much because you're too busy doing things that are at the leadership head of everything, right? It's like a train. You think the head cart knows what it's pulling? No, because there's a cart connected to each other part, so the head cart doesn't know what the hell is going on in the rear of the train. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't, and that's why leadership should have a council, and that council is connected to the people because they have, you know, their little small branches of leadership. You know, like you have captains, co-captains, sergeants, squad leaders, things like that. And, you know, I'm gonna put my military experience into the sense of that. Like, everything has to be an echelon of leadership and power to be able to report up to the head guy. Like, okay, this is what's going on. This is the word on the street. Okay, let us give you our knowledge and perspective on things before you move forward with what you want to do.
Yeah, I agree with you, my brother. I agree with you. All right, so and let me do this, right? I'm gonna go on to the next thing. I know you got something to say about this, right? And you mentioned John Henry Clark too earlier. So I'm gonna y'all be prophets when y'all come on here. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely be prophets. So I'm gonna go to the next thing, right? Because this was a part of the Haitian thing that's gonna be a continued story. Because I mentioned a little bit of that general, the mulatto general, right? Who was like, yeah, Toussaint is a problem because you Black, bro. And a lot of the mulatto population wanted to reclaim their thing. But and it's a complicated subject, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean I hate mulatto people, all right? You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Today in time, right, I can't blame a child that's born, like, it's more the parents' fault at this point, you know what I'm saying? But the rule, you know, like, the rules is the rules, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Down through the ages, but I have always threatened to write a massive book about it and never wrote a line. I write out the title for the book, and I talk out chapters in the book, but I never write the book. It is so delicate and dangerous and so painful.
Ain't that something?
That a person like me who opened many doors and talked about many things, even at the risk of being killed, hadn't even put it down.
I'll say it for you, though. Mulattoes, you know what I'm saying?
The book is called The Role of the Bastard as a Factor in History. How people have bastardized other people through their women and used the bastard to control them. Then having used the bastard, refused to accept the bastard in the home of the father that created him and send him back to his mother's people to start confusion.
And I tell you what, I'll still say mulatto. I won't say bastard. All right.
When and if I died, and somebody gonna have to give me a bodyguard 24 hours a day if I ever did, I would have to write about how they literally destroyed the Haitian Revolution. How the mulatto generals, sons and daughters of the French black mothers and French fathers betrayed the Haitian Revolution and went over to the French against Toussaint Louverture. And a French general who hated both blacks and mulattoes called Rochambeau.
See, I'm getting ahead of myself because I shouldn't play no more, right? Because this hasn't even happened yet.
You gotta let that part ride because he's about to get right into that quote unquote one drop rule.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because the next one I'm gonna actually mention Rochambeau, but all right, I'll let it rock because this is John Henry Clark. I ain't gonna cut this off.
He's gonna teach you the mulatto general, the mulattoes a lesson. That I hate you just as much as I hate the blackest of the blacks. So he gave a gala party for the wives of the mulatto generals. At the end of the party, he said, I have some presents for you, ladies, in some boxes. So go in the room and open the boxes. It was the heads of their husbands. He had cut their heads off to show you I have just as much contempt for you yellow niggas as I got for the blackest of the blacks. The Rochambeau incident in Haitian history was so embarrassing and so painful. Most Haitian historians have written it and left it out. Couldn't face it.
Mulatto ones probably.
Too embarrassing. And Christophe, one of the last of the powerful of the three generals, mentioned it in passing.
Now he wish he was mulatto, Bakari. That's the problem. He wish he was. Now I'm sorry. I take that back because the brother is not here, and he did do some great things, more than I did. So I take that back. But he's not. He was not French, unfortunately. So.
One of the last of the mulatto governors, Pétain, when they were arguing about democracy or dictatorship, Christophe had a dictatorship, but everybody was fed and going to school and doing well. And Pétain had another part of the island that was called a democracy, modeled after Europe, but everybody was starving over there. And when he faced Christophe, he said that if the French, Christophe had been a stable boy and head waiter in the French inn, also fought in the American Revolution, but that's another story. But when he faced Christophe, he said, if the French had killed you, I wouldn't have you to contend with. And Christophe's answer was classic. If your mother had the common decency to keep Frenchmen out of her bed, I wouldn't have you to contend with.
Asian, Italian, whatever else, you know what I'm saying, Mexican, all of those apply.
Now, after the death of Christophe, supposedly engineered by the mulattoes, they came to power, begging for French acceptance and got it. He adopted a French constitution that crippled Haiti and killed the revolutionary spirit of Haiti to this very day. French white nationalism and French bastardization killed that nation before it could get born. I don't have enough handkerchiefs to write the book. Maybe let me go along with my leg. Go.
I don't ever know if I got enough handkerchiefs, but I ain't gonna cry when I tell you this, you know what I'm saying? And they think I just be making it up about the mulatto thing. Oh, you hate them and all of this. No, like just that means you have not done your research. And that also probably means that you're hiding something and that you want to be accepted into the Black community, especially when you're on one side or the other. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like he couldn't write the book, but maybe I can, you know what I'm saying? You want to say something about this?
Man, it's hard to talk about, I guess you would say, well, let's just say slavery in general, to a group of sleeping giants that have been lulled to sleep through disinformation, and miseducation, right? Like even Rochambeau. I don't know about, you know, outside of New Orleans, but in New Orleans, where I'm born and raised, every conceivable Southern general is the name of a street or a school. Same thing with slave monsters. Schools are named after them. Same thing with French, you know, the first enslavers of that land. Rochambeau is a high school in New Orleans that some of the baddest of children went to.
Hey, Black man, not to cut you off too. I went to Thomas Jefferson High School. Good old TJ.
Good old TJ.
Good old TJ.
And so, like, when doing that, right? And here's the thing. Notice we go to these institutions that are named after people, yet there's a history class taught in these institutions, and the history class does not cover why the institution is named what it is. We have to talk about that. And the fact that we don't talk about it is, again, how they lull the people to sleep. Okay, I'm going to this school. Okay, and that's it. And this school teaches the curriculum put forth by, you know, the city. But, well, let's put this. It doesn't put forth the curriculum put forth by the city. The city tells it what its curriculum must, you know, have within it. So therefore, the school itself can choose to talk about its namesake, but they don't. And why do we think that is?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, well, why would they do that? They just teach them that they're like, you know, they teach that Thomas Jefferson was an abolitionist. And because if you teach the truth that he was a pedophile, criminal, thug, rapist, killer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you put him on the side of a mountain, how would that look? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
so,
you know.
So in the Black, you know, especially in the Black nationalist community, right? People say, you know, because we don't have a Marcus Garvey high school and things like that. Like, yo, we could have one.
Right.
What will that mean though if we're not teaching Marcus Garvey?
Well, we got Martin Luther King Elementary School.
And even with Martin Luther King Junior Elementary School, is it teaching Martin Luther King not 24/7, but you know what I'm saying? Like at a high level, like a small introduction for lower grades, and as the grades get bigger and further, you give more entrenched in the history and knowledge of who he is and what he was about up until the moment where you're getting ready to graduate, where you hear again, and I'm not talking about the dogma of nonviolence. I'm talking about the pro-Black part of it, right? Like
the damn checks part. I should have brought my people in this building part, right?
Yeah, and so if we don't do that, how will how will we create that next generation? Again, we're constantly sending our children. I say it like Brother Omar Wale Africa said. I graduated before No Child Left Behind was enacted, so I know the education that I got. The education that children are getting now, man, just trying to raise nieces, nephews, and my own children, seeing what the heck is being pushed in this school system. Like, yo, the hell with creating creating a workforce. These folk downright just want to create dummies to be spoon fed everything.
Yep. Yo, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Even their own, they do their own kindness way. Well, how you think they do? And they do your children 1,000 times worse. Like, and that's why we talk about the importance of education. That's a whole on a part of the reason why, you know, I like to do the history thing. And I encourage other people, if you're good in science, chemistry is very important that we need to know. If I was a chemist, I would be doing chemist stuff, you know what I'm saying, for us, because that's very important. You know what I'm saying? Like economics, you know what I'm saying? Those of you who know economics, those of you who know business, it's important to teach our children these things, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody else is going to teach them that. And if your children is at these, and even me, I don't have no kids, but I should be at the school boards too, you know what I'm saying? Until like I at least try to put my money into like black schools. But you know what? Nobody's really going to take it serious if somebody trying to start a classroom out of their apartment building, you know what I'm saying? Like out of their apartment, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but that's where we are, you know what I'm saying? And it's what you want to do about it. You want to say something? Because I want go through the next clinic so we can get through the rest of them, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
I was just gonna say that last part that you were mentioning, right, is that the way these people get their funding for these schools is by force.
Right.
If you're a homeowner, then wherever you live, when you get your taxes for your house, you see that the school takes its chunk of a percentage of that. Like where I live at, because I'm a veteran, I don't have to pay these taxes, but I still get the statement. And this crappy ass district that I live in is supposed to be the best school district of all of, or at least one of the best school districts of all of Colorado, with the city taking like $1,000 by itself. Like the police department, first responders don't even get like $300 of this, but the school system gets 1,000. And the school system around here is so dilapidated that I can't find a single, you know, they give these schools like a star rating on 1 to 5. I live nowhere around even a 4-star school, but yet we're paying all these taxes to keep a curriculum and a school system up and going. For what? Because we're paying for the indoctrination of our children by hook or crook, right? That's the way that they're going to get it. And so when you choose to homeschool your children and you tell them, well, I'm not sending my children down there, so why do I still have to pay into this tax system for it?
Right.
Because you still live in this district and you're gonna pay for the you're gonna pay for the school whether you like it or not.
If you don't put your ass in jail. That's why.
There you go.
And that's the thing, like, and I don't know if your city is the same as mine, right? Like how like they take it into the city, not necessarily the school where I'm going to, right? Because it's Richmond public schools, right? So there is like how it's set up. You got white schools and black schools. You live in the black community in this span, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to TJ, good old TJ, you know what I'm saying, which was majority black, a couple others, and like a crowd of white people, you know what I'm saying? But the white schools, you got the opposite, you know what I'm saying? Like probably a handful of black people. And those schools is nice, but our textbooks don't even have the damn current president in. They got like 9 signatures. You know, you got to write your name in the book at the beginning of the year. You got like 10 people ahead of you. Like, and I'm going to school, like, you know, like in middle school and elementary in the 90s. I graduated in 05. All right. You know, so like people from like 92 is in the book and I'm in class in like 98. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what the hell? In middle school, but
You know, that dynamic that Bakari just put in there in the chat, man, like that's something else, right? That people don't talk about, and we really see that with the church community, but I've never seen it like that for the school community, where he says that black people tax don't go to the schools in our community. Our tax dollars build schools in white areas.
Right.
Like, damn.
It
if
does.
that ain't theft, I don't know what ain't.
It really does. And that's another part of like, you know, with the whole tax system. But you know, that's what are you gonna do? Like if you don't pay, oh Lord, them white folks gonna get you if they don't, you know what I'm saying, if you don't pay your taxes. So what are you gonna do, right? All right. Let me show this, right? Because for the Savannah thing, right? I showed the Gullah Geechee stuff, right? And I'm gonna show it again if y'all want to talk about it. But this is something that I did want, I should have showed, but it is a news thing. I didn't want to show no news clips on there, but so it's Savannah, right? Because there is a topic about, I mentioned how Savannah directly got a lot of their slaves straight from Africa, but people be like, oh, this never happened or never existed. You know what I'm saying?
That bitch look drunk.
And she does. She probably like 26 and or something like that. But anyway.
This is a series of cellars and tunnels. Now we know they're there.
Oh. Yeah, I know it's going to straight freeze up now.
But very few records show why. The city's underground, surrounded by myth and mystery. So WJCL News working for you this morning, trying to find the truth and taking you underground. Our Nick Notario stepped into the darkness.
Entranceways covered with bricks. There are a series of underground tunnels across Ajosa City. Many have been sealed with no real explanation as to what they were used for. Part of the underground system can be found beneath this place of worship. From the outside, you can't find any unusual doors. But if you go beneath the First African Baptist Church's sanctuary, you'll find a clue in a series of holes.
We believe that it was in that 4 feet of subfloor space beneath our basement floor where they would hide slaves who were escaping to freedom, either to the north or the south.
There are 26 of these patterns found in the church's basement, a series of holes which Church Community Relations Director Atrisha Roberts says served an important purpose 150 years ago.
Making the pattern with actual holes allows for the ventilation, but then also allows for sound to travel into that subfloor space and allow the people hiding there or waiting there to be able to hear what is happening here in the church.
As for proving this story, the church says it hasn't been able to.
All of those things were done in secret, which of course makes it very difficult.
And that was what the consider said. They shouldn't be know about. They can't confirm any of it. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to. You know what I'm saying? People shut the hell up.
Were done in secret, which of course makes it very difficult for us today, you know, to prove with any certain fact that that was what that space was used for.
While you can see the holes, you can't go below. Like the records of who might have hid beneath, the church can't find a tunnel entrance. But they believed the runaway slaves would hide here and escape by the river. While we couldn't go below, there are places you can dip into the underground. Below diners at B. Matthews on Bay Street lies a location few have seen. It's been more than a year since Brian Husky went below his property, but he opened the door and allowed WJCL News to take a look.
Got to watch our heads, huh? So it when you first came down, it didn't look like this, huh? It was a lot dirtier when you first came down here, right?
The irony that it's owned by a white boy, right?
You said what?
The irony that it's owned by a white boy, right?
Yeah. That's what I was about. Yeah, I was going to say. Watch what he say.
Finished.
You know, the fact that this is just a dirt floor kind of makes you wonder who
From the Gaslight Group. That's kind of funny too, right?
actually was down here living, cooking.
Old furniture, bar taps, and strange hooks can be found, but Husky says they know very little about what this room was used for.
Did you do any research to look into maybe what was down here? Did anyone leave anything behind?
We haven't done any research.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about that Negro stuff. What are you talking about? I don't even know why you're here right now. But yeah, the fact that the white boy owns it, right? And like, yeah, who cares? Yeah, just because the news is here, maybe we get some publicity. But yeah, who cares, bro? Like, we give our stuff away, though.
While the owners don't know exactly why these are here and what the cellar was used for, WJCL News working for you to try to get to.
Christopher Soucy wondered what was in this underground system, illegal activity or slavery, which most people don't want to remember.
It's very difficult to find documents. As a matter of fact, the documents I did find were always secondhand accounts.
While the stories might be
All
hard
right,
to
let me stop before somebody invite this dude to the cookout or something.
Okay, look, can you go back real quick to when they showed that that ring on the stairs, saying we don't know what this could have been for.
Oh, okay.
It was a few seconds right there.
There you go. This,
Okay, now when you look at that, what that looks like to me is something that's used for a trap door, right? Like a chain goes through that. I'm trying to remember the exact concept of it, but it's to help close and secure the door when you're on your way actually down into the cellar, not on the way out. So of course it wouldn't have been a chain back then. It would have probably been more like a rope. Not like you can look at it for it to be right there next to an actual opening. It could have been wooden doors, right? It would have been wooden doors there. It would not have been, especially if it's connected to a secret passageway, then it would have been something to actually help reinforce that door being closed, not something that would have been used to hold down, an enslaved person. Like, why else would you put a rein like that close to a door? Like, come on, that, like, common sense in my opinion tells me that, because I've seen things like that before, and I'm trying to think of the exact way that whole locking mechanism works, but that's pretty much what it's used for. Like, if you think about a knot that has to be reinforced, you see how you have to actually create a strengthening. I'm trying to think of like one of the most complex knots, not a slit knot. I'm trying to think of one of the most complex knots, and people pretty much almost like band it together. Like if you think about like cornrows, how it's locked on top of each other, and before the next piece of the root of your hair goes into it, like it's all connected to actually reinforce something, not to what I don't know what well, they actually weren't alluding to anything in this clip. They just say they don't know what it's there for. Like, this is what happens when we get other folks to tell our story, right? They just bypass all of the details about everything. Well, we don't know what this is for. Oh yeah, these holes in this church, yeah, we think they were for, people would be hidden, but there's no way to get into. You mean to tell me there was no bottom entrance into this church? There's nothing. Even if there's an underground tunnel, like, there still would be some way to get there. Like, come on, man, this shit just don't make no sense to me.
Right. Yeah, that's because they just like, this is Black History Month, so we gotta hurry up and do this story. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, but and so check this out, right? Because this is what I really wanted to show in that video instead of the Gullah Geechee thing. Because in Savannah, I'm gonna skip through it because this is gonna be too long. But the sisters talking about the bodies they found underground, where they built like pretty much the city over, where they just buried a whole bunch of people.
22. I got a call. It was a confidential call. A young man was working with the work site on Broughton Street. And he was digging, the bulldozer or whatever. And he discovered bodies on Broughton Street. I asked questions like, how many? About a half a block. Were they in caskets? Were they in clothing? Did you see any bodies? They were all in a row, Sister Pat. And they had this sharpish colored covering over them that was brown. I said, that's cheesecloth. You see, there were no cemeteries for enslaved people from 1748 to 1851. So if you died downtown in the planter's house, he just dug a hole in his backyard 6 feet deep, wrapped your body in cheesecloth and dumped you, took the shovel, put the dirt down, and watch this. He'd flip it over and just smooth it out. So you have lots and lots of unmarked burials downtown. Well, myself, walked the area, I said my prayers. I felt my ancestors' spirits. I said, I know you're here somewhere. I was very sad. Our manager was rushing to put these rocks on top. It was like a fast-paced project. Let's get the gravel and let's just do this over. So I know we were running out of time. I walked, and when I got to the corner of Bull and Broughton, it's like my whole energy changed. It's like my heart began. No one would give us the video, and so I called the workers. And I said, listen to me carefully. I know you don't want to lose your job, but just nod your head because I know people are watching you. That's how Gullah Geechee do. You know, we just kind of talk. And I got to him because I know he was Gullah Geechee. I said, are these bodies here? Did you see them? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, are they in this area still? Yes, ma'am. Are you guys uncovering them or are you getting ready to pave over? We're getting ready to pave over. I contacted the mayor. I said, you know, there are bodies down here. From Calhoun to Whitfield, we know that. But they're all over downtown. We have the maps. Tell them to talk.
All right, so she's talking about a mass burial ground. Just to give you a visual of Savannah, where people was like brought in, you know what I'm saying? It just because we talked about Savannah, you know what I'm saying?
And, you know, River Street is like a part of the downtown historic district where we do all your shopping, and the eateries and stuff like that are amazing. Over there's the Hyatt Regency.
All right, so this is John. It's gonna stall out, so I'm gonna skip it,
Is
right?
that these cobblestones, the ones that are not so perfectly formed, were created and laid, so the street was created, but the stones were laid by the hands of slaves. Slaves. Let me walk over here to get a better, beautiful. There is a lot of darkness that hangs over Savannah. You can feel it culturally, socially. Y'all in on this. Y'all want to see where slaves were actually held in Savannah? Because it's right up this hill. Now hotels, and restaurants, and shops. But it used to be a warehouse for slaves. I wish I knew all the history.
And all right, so I'm gonna just stop it right there, though. So if you want to say something about that,
I mean, it just seeing that that right there makes me think of the castles. Oh man, I can't even stand looking at these kind of things and thinking about the things that our ancestors went through, man. It hearing about those bodies, man, itself, like we know this. We know that there are thousands, millions of unmarked graves throughout the land of this country.
Yeah, countless.
Just as much as there are of the red man and red woman. I will never take away from their genocide, which is why I would never graft on to that whole we're Aboriginal. I'm like, that means we're negating those people's things as well. We try not to talk about it, but we have to. Like in spiritual cleansings and things like that. From an African-centered perspective, they say to use sea salt, pure sea salt. And my wife never really understood why until somebody, explained to her, because our ancestors who did fall off who did get off those ships, who were murdered and bodies thrown off, like they're in those waters. So by using salt from the sea, it is to say that we are, taking upon our ancestors' essence that way. What's the name of that? I remember what's that, the Punch Bowl massacre, where that peach tree is, that nobody will dare touch any of that fruit.
Yeah, that was a Punch Bowl massacre.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand that. Like, it might feel like some sort of sacrilegious thing, which I still don't understand how you will feel that way when you happily go take communion at church
Right.
to eat and drink the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I would think that give me strength. But that's just me though.
exactly. Like I would rather actually ingest my ancestors for strength and power than to take on these GMO chemical frankenfoods that these people sell us and serve us now. Man, it's a lot to really unpack there, and it's only because I've a love of Black people, of African people, has been instilled in me that it's hard for me to talk about these kind of things now. Like before, I probably would have when I didn't have any knowledge of this, it just would have been a talk, right?
Right.
But I'll use fracking as an example. When I got out of the military, the first job I had was fracking. I heard about fracking, but I never really knew what it was. And so I remember the first time I was at a frack site, and I'm just sitting there. You know, we were putting everything together, and I'm being taught and trained on how the whole system works. And now I'm just sitting here watching as these 20-foot rods get jammed into the earth, and they keep connecting new and more rods onto it to keep jamming these rods further into the earth. And because, you know, the ground is hard, it's hard bedrock that they try to get into. So what they have to do now is mix chemicals up to put this chemical solution in. And then they also have to pour in sand. Now they say it's sand, but if you breathe any of this stuff in, you will die because it's not sand. There's 3 types of sands that they use. One is more dirt based and the other 2 are more chemical based. And it mixes up with the actual chemicals. Again, it mixes up with the chemicals to get everything softened up so that they can break into that bedrock to actually get the fumes and get the gas out. That's what fracking is. And I'm just sitting there, and for some unknown reason, it just hit me, and I just started crying. And I couldn't understand why I was crying, but for some reason, seeing this being done to Mother Earth so that they can extract her blood is the sense that I got from it, right? Is that they're digging deep into Mother Earth to steal her resources because these people are nothing but parasites, and then want to tell everybody that it's healthy, nothing's wrong with it. This is good. Oh, I remember, what's that guy? Matt Damon. He was in a propaganda, like, you know, movie about docu movie, whatever the hell they call those things, where it's kind of like a movie, but it's based off a documentary or something like that. A docudrama. There you go. Where they were talking about how, you know, even people who live 100 miles away from frack sites, they'll go to turn on their water and fire will shoot out of their actual faucets. That's what happens when these people do this fracking. Now, what is in the ground that's even creating this source to begin with, right? Like they say that it's that dinosaurs became fossil fuels. Well, what about our ancestors and the ancestors of the Indians, the Native Americans that are scattered throughout this territory? Our people became the fruit of the ground, and now even on their deathbeds, they're still being taken to be used to continue this machine, this parasitic monster. That, man, I'll leave it at that.
All right, so look, and I'll say this, right? Because if you leave it to them, you know, they will destroy the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why you felt that way, because the earth is a living thing in itself, and it's not to sound spooked out, you know what I'm saying? But you drain it of its resources, but you, like we gotta not be surprised anymore, because not saying that you are, but I'm saying us as a whole gotta not be surprised no more. These fools let off a bomb in outer space and wonder what would happen, like an atomic bomb or nuclear bomb in outer space, and wonder why they got fallout coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you leave somebody else in charge of this, like if an asteroid was coming to Earth right now, you know what I'm saying, we would have to rely on Europeans to save us all. You know that, until we build our own stuff. And shouts out to the black space programs that may or may not exist. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
they create the problem and then they come to say that they have the solution to fix it.
Right. Well, yeah, but that's how you get the dirty water and all of that stuff. But you know, it's about getting the material that you need to produce all the things that you want to produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they charge you for all of it. And we give away the material. We like, even in black countries that discover the material, even if you don't have a way to process it, we be like, hey, look, everybody, we discovered some new stuff, y'all. Like, look, everybody. And then somebody roll up and come and take it off your hands and then use it against you. You know what I'm saying? But like, and one thing that you said though, I do have to push back, because like, I don't give, and I call them, and I'm talking about the Asian looking Indians, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to not say Indians, because like, yo, at every turn, bro, like they sided against us, like from the beginning, like from all sides of, like in Haiti and America and all of that's the Taiwans, if you don't want to say it, they turned against us from the beginning and even till this day, you know what I'm saying? So like, I kind of don't have no sympathy for the Indians either, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, look. Me mentioning them was not me giving them sympathy. That is literally just me mentioning them, because I will not sit here and say that these crackers didn't do the same atrocities, well, not the same atrocities, that they didn't murder these people, 500 nations of them. I don't say it to be sympathetic. I just say it to at least give recognition that wherever, man, there's a song by a good brother named Dito Greed. It's called Live from the Pulpit. It goes something like, everywhere the white race has traveled on the planet, they bring death, disease, destruction, know the damage. They speak the language of death. You understand it. It comes in German, French, English, and Spanish. Like, there ain't no place these people don't go that they don't destroy those who are there first, and then, again, create that schism to get everybody else who ain't them to start fighting to not recognize everybody as whoever, and then they assume those people's identities, and that's where we now get the $5 Indians from. Like, I can't talk about the problem of the $5 Indian without at least acknowledging that, hey, there were original Indians here first. So it's only to recognize them, but it ain't to give them any sympathy. I got to worry about my own folk before I worry anything about some red people who also transgressed against my ancestors.
Right. Yeah, I feel what you're saying, y'all. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I feel what you're saying. I just had to, what I'm saying, say that. But like, because I understand, right? They done, like, I said it earlier, probably the first crime in history could have been probably white on white crime. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's white on white crime. It ain't none of my business. And look, like, ever since the first time, like, they was used to be the slave patrol, they always caved in. Black people was like, hey, let's team up. And they was like, all right. And then guess who traded on us every single time? You know what I'm saying? Everybody. They did the same thing to the Mexicans, but so what? You know what I'm saying? They just acting like just like the East Arabs did. You know what I'm saying? So, and it is what it is, All right, so
I think what people forget, though, or at least don't know, is that the quote unquote black-brown coalition is not Black Americans with Mexicans. No, it's Black Americans with Black Latinos who right. Those are the brown people, not these Hispanics.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Because even those Indians, like, I mentioned like the rebellion that I forget who it was in the early 1500s. They could be like the first rebellion in 1530s or something like that happened in like what became Hispaniola. You know what I'm saying? And it was the damn Indians who turned their back on the I forget which tribe it was, but they turned their back on them brothers. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'll play this right because I'm gonna skip because I mentioned some of the Gullah Geechee stuff, right? And maybe because I was gonna save this, but I'm gonna just play a little bit of it because it's too long.
Is a new title really?
I guess I should have refreshed this, John, because I'm going way too slow through these, John. So I'm gonna skip through the rest after this.
Bakari, get your butt up in here, man. Come on.
And Bakari running. Now Bakari running. He running too much. He ain't gonna come on here.
You talking about them mulattoes again?
I know it. I didn't hit a nerve, and I, already know about the corruption that goes on in certain institutions, which I'm not gonna name, but.
And for them, this land is sacred.
The sweetness is that I still can come.
Global war.
We have broken records for the last
battle. Preserve their past. Part art.
All right, I'm trying to get to the regular part.
I'm the third generation, and he'd be the fourth generation.
All organic, close to nature.
Forecast.
Close to us.
Yeah. Hide your banner and then get rid of that little blue advertisement context so we can at least see the name of this video that you're playing. Just in case we're trying to. So the StreamYard, hit the hide so you can get rid of that banner. Okay. And then for that little blue thing there, like get rid of that. So okay, there we go. Yeah, so we can see the name of the video so we can look it up too.
How I do that?
Oh no, that's good right there. Oh damn, you know what? Yeah, see if hit those 3 dots and see if it lets you hide that as well. Or it doesn't. Damn.
Oh yeah, it's taking me somewhere else.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to at least see the name of that video.
Yeah, South Carolina Gullah Geechee face land loss from climate change, quote unquote climate change.
Climate change.
Art.
You're a Gullah, yes?
I'm a Gullah.
What's special about this place?
What's special about this place? Because we love it, and we by the water. Everybody over here is brothers and sisters, and everybody enjoying the free life, free outdoor life.
A free life forged on a graveyard of oppression. These strawberry fields dug where slave houses once stood. It's here where the Gullah Geechee people can trace their history. They're the descendants of West African slaves. The hot summers brought mosquitoes and malaria, keeping the slave owners inland in this community free to live amongst themselves, maintaining their language, their culture, undisturbed. This coastal community is designated by Congress as a cultural heritage corridor.
Hey, that's Charleston Cayenne, smoking.
From Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. Here, hello can quickly lead to a mouth-watering meal.
You guys eat barbecue sauces over here.
Pork, shrimp, okra, and the core of every Gullah meal.
Oh man, there's a cookout guy infiltrated for you. Like
I'm sitting there like, yo, they should have poisoned that bitch food. They should have poisoned her fucking food.
Oh man, what are we doing, Gullah Geechee? I mean, why are we losing? That's why you losing your damn. Ain't no damn. That's the climate that changed.
May I have some of each, bro? Yes, sir.
Rice.
In North Carolina, tobacco was king. In Alabama, cotton was king. In Charleston, South Carolina,
rice was king. Hence the Rice Kingdom.
What makes this place special also makes it vulnerable. A life on the sea, a world where ocean rise and warming temperatures have become a generational challenge.
It gets hot early, and then the strawberry goes away, the green onions and the collards. It takes more water to keep them going, because being at 90 to 100 degrees is too hot.
And you've seen it get gradually worse in your lifetime?
Oh yeah, it gets gradually worse.
Huh.
It's a problem marine scientist and proud Gullah Geechee Albert George
I can't figure it out.
has dedicated his career to understanding.
What did this area look like 10 years ago? What might it look like 10 years from now based on climate change?
What the reality is it's a lot of change that's going to occur.
You seem sad.
Yo, not that you can answer this, Black Magus, but my question is: he said 10 years. What did it look like pre-European, and what does it look like post-European?
I don't think we could. It's hard to even imagine that. Like I try to think of what would Africa look like, or what would this planet look like without Europeanism? And it's something that I can't even think of, and that's a bad thing. But I guess when you really think about it, that goes to show you how good their racism really is, where you can't even conceive a thought like that.
Yeah. All right, real black gentleman came up here. What's going on, bro?
And what's up, Forecast, man? How you doing, Black Magus?
Bro.
Now I'm just watching this. I mean, it always makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing about the Gullah Geechee. You know what I'm saying? That they're definitely have their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish, again, just like seeing the cookout, you know what I'm saying? That was the first thing that crossed my mind. I'm thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the way that Black people are spread out. There's a lot of areas in the United States where Black people have had, you know, strong settlements. And it's almost like the Gullah Geechees, just by the nature of just like their locations, like, they're in the way, but not really in everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? You have you know what I'm saying? You have Charleston, you have Savannah, you have the big, you know what I'm saying? You have big cities along that coast. You have Jacksonville, but you just have a little area where Black folks have just kind of settled out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always a good thing. I just wanted to say that, you know what I'm saying, just from the start.
But real Black.
Yeah.
That goes back to what I was kind of like alluding to earlier when Forecast started this program, right? Is that they got their stuff, and we're glad and we're happy for them.
Oh yeah.
But because I'm not Gullah Geechee, can I not be there with you? Like, are you not opening your doors to invite other Blacks to be with you? You know, they hold on to their African traditions. I got a buddy from Straight Black Pride who's Gullah, and now so I'm not saying that he does, but I'm just saying that in general, like, where is that union to say, hey, we need y'all here with us? Because if they had us together, would we be looking at these crackers now transgressing on their land to take it for themselves? Because they would have a bigger union at that part.
Well,
there's more people.
Well, let me ask both of y'all a question real quick, right? Because you said like, and this is not to say all African culture, all right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying maybe some information maybe need to update. But you think a part of the African culture was to accept the pale face but beef with other tribes that's close to you?
No, I mean, what I think part of it is that the Gullah Geechee recognized that they had something unique. And relative to other Black peoples who settled wherever across, you know what I'm saying, this beast, they managed, you know what I'm saying, the power to exclude and the power to self-identify. And what has happened along the wider time frame is that they know that they are unique. We know that they are unique, but so do all these white people who understand what they know. What they hear Gullah Geechee, they might kind of know what it is as opposed to not having a clue, right? And so what it is because they do have a true land base in a true sense, which is really strategic. I love their location, right? Again, having them like accept the fact that they're not as secret as they used to be, but the wider Black community loves them, right? No one hates on Gullah Geechee, right? It you know, this whole the scramble, the tension in between those two camps where Black, they could export their sense of Gullah Geechee-ness and kind of consolidate in a strong greater Gullah-ish nation, as it were. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you know, if you're really about it, but that would have to have them kind of like, again, negotiate the terms of their culture and kind of like have a sense of expansion, which, you know, that, you know, expansion and exclusion can be difficult to reconcile the two unless you can phase out either or, you know what I'm saying, walk and chew gum at the same time, as it were.
know what I'll use for that? I'm gonna just veggie back off of what Real Black is saying, and they could do that the same way that, and I don't like saying that we should do anything like anybody else, especially any cracker. But I'm gonna just use the Quakers as an example, right? Like, you don't see no camera crews going up to the Quakers to see how they live their life and what they doing. The majority of the way that we know about the Quaker life is because of those who, when they turn of age and they actually choose to leave that lifestyle. Then you have those who actually talk about it. But for the most part, we don't hear anything about how these people really live their life because they don't live on the grid. They choose to live off the grid. They build everything. They don't use the infrastructure for lights or anything. They still use candles and things like that. So the Gullah people, you come from, literally, if there's an example of, pull yourself up by the bootstrap, it would be them. But then you use that to still in terms integrate into this American system. Like, who's this? Okay, rice is king. Okay, so what technological advances do you need to grow rice? They didn't need it. And then they could have been selling their rice to the communities around them to provide for their families, just as the Quakers, do when they create their little things that they sell out to people. Like, why couldn't the Gullah people do the same exact thing? No, it's because now that you've grasped on to any sort of needing Europeanism, that now you've invited these people even into your territory to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with y'all. And in the chat, Cassandra said, you go to certain parts of Africa, you see less and less. Ms. Vita said, actually, I thought the Gullah land is being gentrified. They built a huge golf course near them, and now they're trying to buy them out. Well, yeah, we saw the gentrification happening as we speak here, and that's one thing that Black folks is going to do is gentrify with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you as far as we talk way too much, and we are willing to have that attention and telling everybody what we're doing, even though we ain't doing nothing, but we still want to brag and show the world everything. But sometimes it's better to shut up. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm gonna play some of this, and y'all can jump in when y'all want to, but I'm gonna speed through the rest of this part.
It's sad because it's a reality that a lot of people don't deal with. It's going to have a disproportionate impact on those people who don't have the resources to mitigate the risk. If nothing is done, I'm afraid a community like this may not really exist 80 years from now.
And right there, he just solidified what I was saying. Resources. Y'all have your own stuff. Why do you need the resources of others when you already have what you need?
Right.
I mean, but the thing is, okay, let me jump on this, because I'm about to pounce on all of this. This goes into climate change, right? Now, this is the fraud that they're going to push on Black folks. They're going to say, the sea's going to rise and swallow up all your stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta do something about it. And like the climate change is actually like a way to like what they'll do is like try to say that the fossil fuels that you're using is bad, like those tractors are horrible. You should use electric powered tractors with batteries, right? And so like you follow me though, right? It's really a big hustle. It's like Black people in climate change, that really is like the most insidious ploy, in my opinion, that is like that Black people get pulled on, because it has in all kind of logical or objective sensibilities, every solution to supposedly the carbon tends to use up more net carbon, more pollution, more industry than it is. It takes like 6 times as much fossil fuels to make a battery than it does. You know what I'm saying? It's really off-putting. It's real backwards. And to know that like he's saying that you see this picture right here, the wetlands, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're so sensitive. And I mean, it's true, you know what I'm saying? You do want to have some sense of like swampland, but like there's ways to reclaim land, and there's just understanding that over just natural erosion over time, that, you know, the sea will slowly eat away the land. This is just natural. It's not like something to like press about. It's just one of those things where, you know, you can mitigate that by planting trees along riverbanks to mitigate erosion. There's some sensible things about, you know what I'm saying, when environmentalists talk about some things that actually are practical and sensible, and probably what all people have always known. If you tear up a whole bunch of trees along like a riverbank, that riverbank's going to erode. I think our people in hundreds of thousands of years know that. You know what I'm saying? It's just things where it's like the climate. You know, if they can get these people to admit that the climate is changing, we don't know what to do with our land, and we're not getting any money. The whole point is that they already are need resources. Because we're black, we already need resources. But then the whole twist is saying, well, you know, it's just the climate, and just, you know, nature's just against us as well. But go ahead and play it, because I feel like that's what this video is going to turn into.
Well, technically, they do have to put stuff on their skin to go out into the sun. You know what I'm saying? But I think one thing you forgetting, real black gentlemen, is nobody had a thought until a Greek showed up, and you're denying European science. So I think that's really going wrong.
And so, real black just like, I wanted to stay on topic. Like, as soon as I heard them say climate change, I didn't even want to touch on that, right? But we have to talk about it because Real Black just said it. But the way you opened it up is the part that I really want to focus on. Who are the carbon-based people on this planet? So when they say,
hold on, Bobby, right? Y'all, I wish you could come on here, my brother. I don't know why your devices don't be connected, my brother. Yo, you all gotta hear this, brother. He's a genius. You know what I'm saying? I hope you can get your devices connected. But my bad, Black Magus. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when they talk about we have to create net zero and we have to get rid of these carbons, well, if you're talking about that, and we know that black people are carbon-based, we have to really look at what is it that they're talking about then when they say we need to create net zero emissions from this, right? And forecast, you said there with a climate change right there when they showed the little white bitch in the video. Like, that's the climate change that they want. They want the climate of no carbon. Well, I mean, even though they're still going to use their carbon for their fossil fuels, except for everybody who they want using, you know, battery powered stuff, as Real Black just talked about. They're talking about removing us. And because our people continue to either pontificate upon the what ifs and everything is conspiracy talk, these people keep pushing their agenda forward. Goddamn. Oh my God, man. I was just walking past my child's laptop and it said, I can't search for that. That means that bitch is listening to my voice. Woo! Let me get away from that.
Damn,
Wow.
You said who listening to you?
Wow, my child's tablet. It just said I couldn't find a search for that. Let me find it. It's like, whoa, that means that hoe is listening. I got to turn that the hell off. But again, they're talking about removing us, and we see Bill Gates. I don't know if anybody is paying attention to this, but he talked about this in 2019 and then again in 2020, and in 2021 Sweden actually blocked it, where he wanted to launch his chemicals and missiles from Sweden to actually block out the sun. And people think that, oh, it's just a joke, that's not really going on. No, these people are literally really doing this, and they're so bold about it now because they know people have been dumbed down that they can 100% broadcast everything that they're doing with even like this machine called CERN, where they're trying to find the God particle, right? I just seen it in Rutgers about 2 days ago, where they just found a new way to split an atom down to the smallest amount of matter possible. This is what these people are doing as they further their genocidal madness. And if our people don't realize what's going on, like, that's the entire reason why they even want us to stop using electricity. If we're not using electricity, I'll use the CERN machine. The CERN machine creates, I think it's like 14 petabytes of data. A petabyte is, I can't even really explain it here, and unless you understand computer science, but just know a petabyte of data takes months to break down and discern exactly what it is. Well, this machine creates 14 petabytes a day. The amount of energy that is needed to power this machine would cause blackouts throughout the entire world if they ran it on a constant basis. If you think of, if you've ever seen the film Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's based off of an old British book of the same topic, which says that the Earth is actually created as a supercomputer to discern what is the definition of life, and that they needed a supercomputer able to generate this actual answer, because that's how long it was going to take. It was going to take the entire expansion of the existence of the Earth to even discern what the answer to that question would have been. And that's what these people are literally doing right now with these kind of devices. And when they talk about climate change, it's so they can take all of the resources for themselves and leave us with nothing as they push their machinations forward. I didn't want to get off into that big conspiracy sounding tirade on that, but man, I'm telling you, our people are sleeping on these things, man.
No, that was absolutely made absolute sense. No, you weren't lost on me. I understand. Look, the thing is, like, and I did the math. I think I'm gonna say a petabyte is like 1,000,000 gigabytes. I think, and I think it's like 10 to like, you know what I'm saying? It's like gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte. You know what I'm saying? So that's like 1,000,000 gigabytes. You know what I'm saying? That's like a lot of, you know what I'm saying? That's like 1,000,000 of whatever a gig is. But like, again, it's like, this is like, you know, when we talk about like the 1860s, black people knew, look, I'll just put it like this. Back in the 1860s, black people in a lot of cases knew what the high technology was, because in fact, we were making it in the fucking barns. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, we don't necessarily know what the high technology is. It's like we don't really understand a lot of what's going on. I mean, when it's written in verbal terms, and it's not even as if, because I mean, there's people who do science who are scientists, and I mean, they're, you know what I'm saying, they sit back, they live their lives, they do their stuff, right? I like to say, you know, there's three type of white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? You have the white supremacists with the white Klan robe and you know what I'm saying? That's the white supremacist, the old Klan, you know what I'm saying? But then the more dangerous white supremacist than that is the white supremacist in the black business suit, right? But even more dangerous than the white supremacist in the black business suit is the white supremacist in the white lab coat. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I see how that works, because you have a lot of scientists who don't know better. They have a lot of scientists that kind of get it, and they know, they see black people and they hear this carbon, and by the millions, they just don't put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? While you have black people sit that can say to them, and they can hear this shit in the earshot, man, this don't make no sense. But you know, we gotta protect Mother Earth. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to let all this blue bubble stuff, and let everyone know that it is extra special, that we're just letting you know about this, just so you know about this bullshit that you don't know anything about. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to take our land. They're trying to take I know there's a place close to me that used to have like 4 gas stations. Now there's only 1. Right? And there's a lot of black people who live in this place. If they lose that gas station, a lot of those black people won't be able to live where at that place no more. They'll find themselves having to drive forever just to get gasoline. these things happen. We're like, it's like there's so many. I mean, we're talking about, you know, hundreds of millions of people as we're talking about America. There's so many moving parts. You know what I'm saying? I gotta forgive people if they don't sound coherent. I just have to like put flesh on the bones as they say it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I have a pretty good idea what they're trying to say. I can see the nuance. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of people who, you know what I'm saying, they don't know what is hitting them. They don't see the subliminal. They don't see the what's really being said without being said. It's like oh my goodness. There's, I mean, I a lot of times I'm watching, you know what I'm saying? I'll see it and I'll say to myself, oh, that's this, that's that. But when I'm sitting here talking to you guys, it's hard to kind of, I just noticed the climate change. I mean, there's so many little things where it's like it's inner city, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of things that are not spoken in clear language. It is speaking of in you know what I'm saying, euphemisms, not just as expediency, but as a regular use, just to like throw things off.
But
urban,
you know what, to me, what that is, Real Black, is that goes to speak on what it means to be an African, right? Europeanism is the abduction and forceful taking of land. The earth itself is land. We are the natural inhabitants and protectors of it. And then once they take it and they steal it, they then use their man-made laws to tell us why we cannot have the land. And then they continue to rape and pillage the land. And because we fall into their ideologies, we now don't care about the land anymore. When you look at, let's use the water supply for an example.
Okay, the water.
There is literally the earth is 66.6% water, just like the body itself. But
the surface, yeah.
But of that massive amount of water, there's only about, I think, 10 to 20% of it is drinkable water.
I think it's more like 1%.
Is it 1%?
Yeah, I mean the oceans are huge compared to like the lakes on the earth. I mean, like even Lake Superior is only like 1,000 feet deep. Like the oceans are miles deep. I mean, it's like 1%. Like Lake Vic, you know, Lake, you know what I'm saying, the African Great Lakes. You know what I'm saying? Those are fresh water, but there's not a lot of water in them. Not at all. No.
So
compared to the oceans, it's a drop.
So now we have to divide that water up between all of the different countries, or I'm sorry, continents that have access to their sources of water, right? You know, China has the worst water quality in the entire world. After them comes India. China, because of them and their industrial zones that they created to, you know, create their power system, you know, where they hoard themselves out to gain that finance. It's understandable, but
the special economic zones.
Yeah, exactly. And in the same sense of doing that, you know, now they don't really have drinkable water. India, because of those trash landfills that we see, that they now went and poisoned their water supply. And we're seeing it happen here now in America, where there's these quote unquote, you know, mysterious or accidental train wreckings or chemical spills that go into the water. These people are 100% killing off the water supply now. And now when we're left with no natural water, we are now forced to depend on those who bottle waters to get it. Go ahead, Forecast. What you gonna say?
Yeah, it's somebody in the back, Dark Like Magic. I don't know who you are, you know what I'm saying? So like you're gonna have to like show me who you are about why you behind stage or something, or you know, put it in the chat to let me know who you are, because I'm not gonna let you on right now, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't need no BS right now. But go ahead, Black Magus. But if you want to come on, just like you before I put you on and show me who you are, you don't gotta come on here, but you can, but just while you at backstage, show me, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Yeah, so that I was just going to sum it up with just that right there, is that we should be the vanguard of the land. To hell with these people and their laws, because if we continue to sit back and let them, like I said again, back to that fracking, if we continue to sit here and let them do what they do, that's the reason why we have to pay them for every single piece of resource, right? For water, them, energy, them, food, them, place to lay, them, clothing, them. People want to talk, black people talk about racism, not understanding that, as again, John Henry Clark, we don't even make our own underwear. And you want to talk about racism, you don't even understand, we don't even understand that on the simple fact that we still have to buy the simplest of things from these people. And it all goes down to land resources.
Now hold on, because I think this person Black Dark Knight, and I'll let you on as long as I know it ain't gonna be no like crazy stuff. And shouts out to person Kid in the chat, but they in the back chat saying what kind of weapons or what standing army do you have resources, where it's one of those people, and I will let them on. All you got to do is show me, you know what I'm saying, who you are, you know what I'm saying, because these is like regular dumb questions people, not to call you dumb or nothing like that, but I'm just saying people who haven't thought about it all the way, then they tend to ask this question just to be negative, you know what I'm saying? But
we know it's AFR.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can like kind of leave. He's like in the back chat, can we see who I am? But you can leave my channel if you don't know who I am. That's the difference, you know what I'm saying, between somebody, you know what I'm saying. And the thing is, you know, the people who are serious about it have seen me, you know what I'm saying. So if you missed it, that's on you, you know what I'm saying. It's not that hard to see who I am, you know what I'm saying. But that's why I'm like, yo, while you backstage, you're gonna have to see it. It's gonna be hard to kind of troll me because it don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I will let you on. Like you can ask these questions straight up. I just need to know you ain't gonna do some funny style stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, well, you missed it, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You should have subscribed to my brother Black Mega's channel and you would have seen us, you know what I'm saying, talking about it. Nah, but yeah, I don't got time for that porn bomb stuff today. So y'all, one of the brothers want to talk something, because like I said, man, you're gonna have to show me, you know what I'm saying, or tell me who you are, you know what I'm saying. But
I'm reading that person's comments, and I mean, what kind of weapons or what standing army do you have, Black Magus? Am I the army of a general? What porn bomb? I don't do such. What the? Yeah, man, that person just trying to troll. But again, it does sound like America's First Rifleman, especially to call out me specifically. It's always American First Rifleman to call out me specifically.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with the trolling because, like, yo, I like that's what I be waiting for, the trolls to come on here so I can like not bite my tongue with people. You know what I'm saying? So I can like actually prove a point. But you know,
then give them 3 minutes to announce what their part.
Okay, I'm gonna let you on, man. But you know, I'm gonna be like, yo, so y'all, you know, whatever. All right, so Dark Knight Magic, you on here?
What's going on? What's good?
What's good? Oh, I know. Oh yeah, this is Tyron. Oh, you didn't think I would you didn't think I would know that? You could have just put
what
Tyron
land are
in
we
there.
trying to get to? Is it in means of fleeing to Africa, or what are you saying?
I don't even think. Have you even watched any of the show, bro?
He just said that we need to get land in Africa, right?
Nobody said nothing about that. No.
You said you gotta legally take land where?
Wherever you got to take the what's your Muskogee land? That's the land you got to take. That's the land you got to be
we're
taking.
working on that. We're working on that.
well,
I'm just asking. What are your Pan-African
The
solutions?
Muskogee land. That's the land we need to
Is
be
it
taking.
supposed to flee to Africa Is it supposed to capture and seize
no,
Ghana and turn it into a black ethno state? What are we doing?
We turning the Muskogee land to a black ethno state. It's kicking all the Asian looking Indians out.
Okay. So what's your next step in Muskogee land? Are y'all actually doing your genealogy?
Well, I'm not a Muskogee Indian, but it was for the black people.
But
right?
what's your tribe? Because you should be taking that
I
land.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
How don't you know? Why do you just call yourself black? That's not a tribe.
Well, you call yourself black.
Shouldn't you do your due diligence?
Yeah,
my brother.
I did enough due diligence not to side up with the Asian people that enslaved us, like the
What
Muskogee Indians
Asian person that enslaved you though?
The Muskogee Indians enslaved black people.
The Asian people enslaved black people. How did they do that?
Asian looking Muskogee Indians.
How did they do that?
Black people.
How did they do that? They didn't run into Africans. So how did they do that?
What do you mean? How they try to be like the white man?
Okay. They try to be like the white man. Was there a workshop to teach these Asian Muskogees how to speak African?
I don't know. Did you go to a workshop?
No. This is your story. You said the Asians enslaved you. I want to know, where's their narratives?
You said what?
I want to know, where's the narratives of them learning how to speak random West African tribes? Because apparently Pan-Africans can find Bantu languages amongst our broken English, but they can't find no Africanisms amongst Indian languages.
We talking
that
about
doesn't make any sense.
We didn't say nothing about Africa. We talking about the Muskogee.
No. What is the black? What land we got to take back?
The Muskogee land. Didn't you hear me say that?
No. That's not what you said. You said that we got to go to Africa, black maggots. That's our culture. That's our heritage, allegedly.
What's the timestamp, bro?
What culture we got to take? What culture we got to take in
I wasn't
Africa,
paying attention to the timestamp. But obviously it's to be dissension with the narrative, because not once did I ever say anything about go back to Africa, and not once did I say anything about legally taking back the land. How are you legally going to take back the land? You want to play their game?
So
you can't play their game.
Okay, what
you can't play their game to win. You can't play their game to win.
What algorithms? What robots? What do you have, Black Magus?
So you said no. How about this? You said that's what we are getting ready. I don't know you, and I don't obviously forecast do, but you say we are doing that. So tell me, please, who is this we that you speak of, and where are those same exact things that you're asking me of?
You said we got to capture a black ethno state, right? You got to take the land.
Never say ethno state.
You got to take the land. What you're describing is an ethno state, sir.
Bro,
no, I'm not.
You say the same damn thing. Hold on, don't even get off on that. So you don't think black people need to build their own stuff? Even if they're the black Muskogee Indians need to build their own stuff. They need a black.
First of all, we don't hyphenate ourselves in that way.
Oh, so you're down with the Asian looking Indians then, bro? Is that what
whoever said I'm down with an Asian looking what?
You are saying that.
I'm asking you that you're saying things that you have no evidence on.
I have a question. This is an earnest question because I mean, when we speak of someone coming from a location, I think that statement is inherently flawed. Right now, let me just state some, certainties in life. Everyone has 2 parents. Everyone has 4 grandparents. Everyone has 8 great grandparents. Everyone has 16 great grandparents. And so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that when someone says that I come from a tribe, the problem is at some point you're going to have 256 great grandparents. Not all of those 256 persons come from the same place.
The point is you're going to have to figure out which one predominantly makes up you.
No, it sounds like what you're saying is you want to say which one you want to grift onto.
That's not what I'm saying, because you can't find an African ancestor, but what we can find is the European, and what we can find is the Indian, which is the Aboriginal indigenous people of this landmass. We can't necessarily pinpoint what African ethnic group, because you can't do it in any way, shape, or form within genealogy, or you can't do it with DNA tests.
But what you
So
can
what you're
do
saying is that you essentially gave up on trying to find it then?
No, I have not. I have not found it. No Black American has found a West African ancestor.
but
That's
this
what
is
I'm
the thing.
saying.
But this is no that this true.
And
Kunta Kinte.
what I'm saying is, you can trace where your peoples, where they bloodline began, that makes up you, and you can start there and try and see if you're connected to one of those ethnic groups in that area.
No.
Or you might be a European yourself. Who knows?
But this is the thing. But this is the thing.
Hold on. Don't feed into it, y'all. Watch this. Because don't feed into this because he's trying to get y'all hyped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm not going to get
Are you butthurt because I'm the only person on this panel that did the research?
No, you just said.
And y'all jealous of me for finding out what I am?
No, we're not mad at you. No, hold on, watch this. No, we're not mad at you because you say you have more European ancestry than
I didn't say anything about having more European ancestry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what ethnic group? What ethnic group are you from here? Because your bloodline traces you somewhere, right?
Not from. Well, mine's is
but
different from
but
yours.
even in
European, bro. So you the only one that's saying you're European.
I said indigenous American, or maybe you can be just European, a Black European. You know, there's indigenous Black people of Europe, right? White people that are original European. Wait a minute. Are white people the original Europeans?
We're majoring in minors.
No, they're not.
I mean, look, the predominant black people in the Americas, like, it's like 80%, 85% of their at least raw DNA comes from an African source. So to say that you can't major in minors, you can't major in the minors.
Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from?
Yo, hold on, Tyrone. You can't because we're only gonna give this part a few more minutes because I'm gonna move on to show all the rest of the stuff on the show. But that's what I'm saying. Don't cut them off. I'm gonna let you speak, so don't cut them off, and then I'm gonna let you speak. Go ahead, real black gentleman, finish.
Now the problem again with raw genealogy connecting African Americans to Africa is this thing called cargo manifest, where your ancestors, weren't, a name on any kind of census or birth certificate. They were just a number on a boat. You understand that, right? I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, once they were dropped off, they were given names, and hopefully, their records of any children that they may or may not have had, any kind of familial links, because once again, on these plantations, whole families were separated wholesale. Brother, mother, sister, father, gone to 4 different plantations. Any kind of records connecting the former owner to the next owner may or may not have happened. You cannot, you understand that there are natural gaps between a hard genealogical link from an African American today to an African, naturally because of those things. That does not discredit the fact that yes, African Americans did en masse come from Africa, and then naturally, the rapings of African people means that there's going to be an admixture in most people. Although there are some people who do have, to the best of their knowledge, are 100% African, and that may or may not be true. Maybe it's close to 99. But like, I'm going to give a real one a real one. If they say that they're real, they're real.
All right. So where did you get that cargo manifest shit from? Because there's no such thing as that. Second, they didn't give people numbers. They gave them actual names. What are you talking about? Third, where are the slave ships at? Because not one Black American can trace themselves to a slave ship. And as a matter of fact, majority of those chattels were American Indians, not Africans.
Okay, I got to answer to both.
This is on Henry Louis Gates.
No, don't answer
slavevoyages.com.
Oh Lord, he said Henry Louis Gates.
Why can't you answer the question, Forecast? Can you answer the question?
I can, because you know why? Timber is incredibly expensive.
No,
you can take a boat full of wood, take it, dismantle it, the timber used to build the boats. That timber is expensive.
Timber where? Where though?
The boats it was converted to other buildings.
Other buildings down to make these slave ships, bro.
Hold on. That's why I tried to tell you don't answer that because he believed there are slave ships. That's what he don't try to tell you.
No, there weren't any. What boat was constructed? Matter of fact, where's the proof that the Brooks diagram exists?
Didn't they take Black people from America on ships to other places?
It wasn't called a slave ship, my guy.
Where are those boats at?
Oh, they're still around.
Where
But
are
forecast,
they? Where are they?
forecast,
That's what I'm trying to
forecast.
say. He
Where
believes
is
in-
the chattel
he
slave
believes in-
ships that
he
match?
believes in slave ships,
No,
bro,
this is
so
what you
don't even
believe in,
beat that
forecast. Where is
Alright,
the Brooks
so-
diagram? The famous
so-
Brooks diagram boat that features dunnage bunk bed racks.
Yo, so
Huh.
all right, so we gonna move. So all right,
How
so
come you only have CGI?
let me just say this real quick.
How come you only have CGI
You already said you
in
believe
drawings,
slave
bro?
ship. Didn't they take? Hold on, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Didn't they take slaves from America to?
My
other
guy,
places?
you already was on
Okay.
Alquan
Go ahead,
show.
ask-
We already
go ahead, ask
questioned you
us you-
Pan Africans about this. We showed you a Caligula boat. We showed
Yo,
you long
yo, last
ships.
time I-
We
hey, by
showed
the
you
way-
Queen Anne's Revenge. Come on now.
Hey, by the way, last time
We
I
showed
was
you
on
Queen
Alquan
Anne's
show, it took
Revenge,
them
did
like-
we not?
Last time I was on Alquan
Was that a
show, it
slave
took them
ship?
like-
Was
it took
Queen
them like
Anne's
2
Revenge a
months to get
slave
on.
ship, bro?
All right, go ahead, ask your black question because I'm gonna ask you a question to bring it back to the
So
topic.
so I'm gonna lay forecast. So just so we could get everything back on track, even Miss Vita pointed out. So let's just say this. Here we have a person that is clearly full of self-hatred, because it doesn't matter what you want to classify yourself
Self-hatred.
as we can see under this construction of Europeanism. Black people want to move to any and everything that they want to, and I say black, but I only use that as a term to signify those who don't want to identify themselves as Africans.
So what
they
African
looking
am I
for
hating
look,
on, black
I'm just-
maggots?
So they
What
go
African
to
am I
grift
hating
onto
on?
any other kind of
hold on,
identity.
Hold on, bro.
What African
Yo,
did I
chill out.
descend from,
Yo,
maggots?
chill out. Let him ask you the question, and then you can say that, bro.
So they go to grift over to any kind of other identity to say that that is what they are. But I will say this: whether you can trace your genealogy or not, one thing that is fact is that those with black skin can look at the continent and see those who look just like them. And so if you don't identify with those who look just like you, you're lost in the sauce. And that's why you're full of self-hatred.
So I got a question. Are black people exclusive to just Africa? Hello? And what part is black Africa?
Yeah.
And who do I look like over there in Africa?
Wow.
So you've seen everybody. So you've seen
you said I'm hating on somebody in Africa.
With your statement, you're saying that you've seen every single person in Africa. Like that's what's easy
Actually,
to dissect.
I know what African
about
looks
people
are.
who make these broad terminologies. We don't see the ships. This we don't do that. We don't.
It's
But
not
you said
a
that
broad
means you've
terminology,
seen.
though.
That
but
means
why
you've
do you
seen
why do you
every
limit
last
yourself?
single.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yo, Tyron, hold on, because I want to ask you something after you finish. Hold on, let him finish, because I want to ask you something, because we got to move on. So go ahead, Black Maggot.
So when people make these broad statements, all they act as if is that they have 100% knowledge of the 100% human experience on planet Earth. When you don't, you make just broad statements. You point towards something to say, see, this is what I'm going to use for my reference point. You use studies from people who help to push your narrative, but those same people who push your narrative are the same people who you putting your dollars in. So they'll definitely say anything they need to say to get the money out of your pocket so you can put it into their pockets. That's all it is. I want to know where, again, all I asked is the same questions you asked in the back is the same questions I posed to you. You say you're taking your land. I guess forecast said you're Muskegee. That's who you're identifying with. What nation do you have? What power system do you have to take this? Because the same way that the Native Americans here, or those who call themselves Native Americans, say that they have their treaties and everything that gives them their land, but then we seen when America wanted to build a pipe system, they took that land. So tell me, where is your nation to get this supposed land that you're going to get? And then what power are you going to use to hold that amongst your people?
You don't know that our people already have it. you don't even know that our people already are enrolled in these reservations, right? But how many of you Pan-Africans are enrolled in citizenship in Africa and has dual citizenship? What nations are you running within Africa? How come Africans don't fuck with you and scam you once you get there? How
So
come
we're not
you're
going to
called
answer the
white
question.
in Africa?
So we're
No,
not
no,
going to
no,
answer the
no,
question.
no.
Thank
You ain't gonna
you
pull
for
from
telling
this.
me
You ain't
you
gonna
didn't
pull
have
from
the
this.
answer.
If it's some
Thank you
hate
for telling
self-hate
me you
stuff,
didn't
why do
have the
Africans
answer.
hate you? Why
Thank
don't
you for
Africans
telling me you didn't
recognize
have the answer.
you?
All right,
Why don't
all right,
Africans recognize you, Black Magus?
all right, Tyron.
How
gave him
come they
more than
don't agree
his
with the
5
low
minutes
IQ
forecast.
Afrocentric Pan-African?
All right, so we about to move on. But look, I do want to ask you this though, Tyron. Yo, you one track minded though, bro. Like, damn,
No,
bro.
I am
Can't you
not.
stick to the
One track
topics?
minded would be
You are.
Afrocentricity because they
You
don't
are.
change.
No, we talking
They
about
never
different,
evolve.
bro. We was sitting here talking about something totally different. You know what I'm saying? But we did have to move on from that point that y'all was talking
So
about.
is the goal is to
No,
immigrate to Africa?
no,
Forecast.
Please
my
move
goal,
on, Forecast.
yeah,
Please
my
move
goal
on.
right now, no, like, well, I'm gonna move on, y'all. I'm sorry, I like to do this, you know what I'm saying, but so I'm gonna get more discipline. But like, yo, my question, right, with the Gullah Geechee, right, what do you like? What are your thoughts on the Gullah Geechee, Tyron?
They're not African.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on them? Like,
They
who
are
are they?
actually Muskogean people. The people that claim some Africa stuff, those are Afrocentric revisionists. And they have land. They just make themselves foreign nationals and get lost in the sauce with Eurocentrism, reevaluating their culture and trying to place it somewhere else in Africa. And the goal is to get our people to recognize and to claim their indigenous homeland within the Americas. Then once we do that, we build up our families from just that alone, claiming our indigenous birthright in the Americas, build up our economic base within the Americas. Then if we have the time, we can unite with the Caribbeans and we can all become one big indigenous ethno state within the Americas with our Caribbean brothers, because we're all Americans. Then if we have time to work on your Pan-African, Afrocentric, Black Africa diaspora, then we can work on that. But for now, our main priority should be focused on our lineage within the Americas, not claiming some slave ship nonsense, but our indigenous birthright here.
You was almost doing good. I was like, yo, because this is the first reasonable thing, but you had to bring something that had nothing to do with any of what you was just saying.
Okay, then what are you? Where's the camaraderie with the African? How's that going? Because what I'm seeing, and I've seen y'all Pan-Africans actually go there and saw shit fail.
Yeah,
seeing people getting robbed, seeing people getting turned away from the Africans, seeing Africans come over here and talk shit about you in front of the European.
Yeah, it kind of sounds.
What are you talking about?
It sounds like a Muskogee Indian, if you ask me. So that's
Forecast.
What's
wrong
with that? Forecast. What's wrong with being American Indian? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with your own family genealogy?
The damn Indians betrayed that. Why would you call
the Indians betrayed you? Who betrayed us? If we're the Indians, the African betrayed you. What happened when your people set up shop in Liberia?
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell.
What happened to your people when they set up shop in Liberia?
It was tribal differences, bro. Like that's what I never said
just like
that.
In America, tribal differences, right?
Bro, I am.
So why you giving no? Why you giving passes? Why you giving passes to Africans when they sold you allegedly into slavery? If that's what you claim.
Well, you claim that. Well, first of all,
you said we self-hating on shit.
No, that's
how we hating on somebody that sold you as a slave to a foreign land?
That's because you got your stuff from Europeans and you have European talking points, so you don't know no better.
No, that ain't no European talking point. That's not a European talking point.
Yeah,
how can you be proud of something that sold you into slavery?
Yo, Tyron, I'd be like, yo, I don't have a problem with you because you remind me of. Listen to
who
what
are
I'm
we
saying.
hating on? Who are we hating on?
Yo, I
Why
don't
we
have
gotta celebrate the Go-Jay, the
Yo,
homies?
Tyron, you gotta calm down, bro. Cause like you
Huh?
remind me of my little cousin. That's why I don't be tripping on you, bro. But you are too one-track minded to be on you know what I'm saying, the show that we are talking about.
Does
Bro,
Black Maggots love the homies?
Yo, stop, bro. Like, yo, like I said, bro, like you are too one-track minded to be, because we're not talking about Africa or none of that. We sitting here talking about how Black people in our spaces right now, which you should be down with if you're down with Black people here in America, right? How could we build and do, because that's literally the conversation. We didn't say nothing about Pan-African.
Well, you already know. You already know.
But
So
you
why
don't
aren't you
have-
encouraging?
But
Why
you
aren't you
don't have the
encouraging?
you don't have the capacity. But that's why I asked you about the Gullah Geechee, because like you finally started to you know what I'm saying, because that's something that's on topic. It's just that you can't stay on topic. That's the only problem, bro. Like I don't have I would let you on, but this is why other people don't let you on, because you cut people off and you go off the topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you bring up Arquan. Like the dude ain't go live after I went on the show for like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like
Actually, he
like,
has.
stop it,
You
bro.
just hasn't.
Like,
You just
you
haven't
just-
been there. He recently put out a video about
yesterday,
BTX
like yesterday,
and
where
clowning
he talk-
y'all
where he
Pan
went-
Africans
No, time out.
thoughts on biracials.
Where he backtracked after all the BS that y'all gave me about mulattoes, because that was another topic earlier. All the BS y'all gave me about mulattoes. Now y'all sitting here talking about some damn mulattoes. That's how I know that y'all be full of it, and that's why I don't.
Oh,
mind
we're
it, because
full of it.
y'all
Okay,
spoil yourself.
forecast. You can explain
That's
your
what I'm
case
saying.
when you come back on Alquan show.
Yeah, whatever, bro. Like, but anyway, so let's.
Okay, we'll
Forecast.
charge you to that bullshit. What you just said.
Forecast.
Because then you just say that mulattoes is Black, and you go by, y'all been fighting me on this one drop rule forever. Now all of a sudden, because it's somebody you don't like, now all of a sudden, oh well, mulattoes ain't. Why are you calling her?
That's your pan. That's your pan Black niggas that's sitting up there saying that.
So do you
whatever
believe
a
that?
mulatto is.
So is Michi X Black?
I never said she is.
But I'm asking you right now, is she?
That's up to you. Pan
Lord,
Africans say she
Lord,
Black.
I said, you know what I say, no, and I'm asking you, what do you agree with me? Because I say no, because she's mulatto.
Nobody's
that?
Black. Nobody's Black. It
see
technically
how
you have other races in your genealogy. Yes.
Lord, I'm asking. I have.
Don't lie, because don't lie.
Yeah, I
Because if
haven't
we
found
look it up, we won't find some other ethnic group in there, will we?
No, I mean I haven't found it.
Are you
know what I'm
lying?
saying?
Are you lying? Because
you
you're
can
not
look it up
full
for
blood
me.
Bantu.
I would hire you to find. I would hire you if you have a profession at doing my genealogy. I would hire you right now, but I haven't found nothing.
Are you
but Black
sure you're
people.
full blown Bantu?
Look, put it this way: I wouldn't be confused with Asian. I wouldn't be confused with white. I wouldn't be confused with the mixed or none of that. I'm.
Oh, you wouldn't be confused with an Australoid, Melanesian. You wouldn't be confused as a Negrito.
I don't know.
You wouldn't be confused as an East Indian.
Definitely
Let's see
not
your
an East
face.
Indian.
Let's see your
Definitely-
face.
Definitely not an East Indian.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yo, I'll tell
Are
you
you
what.
sure? Because I
I'll tell
already
you-
showed you and Psycho what East Indians look like.
All right. So, and I'll
Are
tell
you
you
sure?
what.
Are you sure, Forecast?
And I'll tell you what, because people that have seen, people that's serious about this have seen me. You know what I'm saying? It's
Are
not
you
my
full
fault that you
blown
missed it.
Bantu, or
But-
shall I do
but
comparisons of what you look
I'll tell
like?
you what, since you try to be like, because I never said this to nobody, right? But if you try to say that, I will come on the same show, because I seen Alcon one of the shows that he had and how light skinned he was looking and why he be defending that biracial BS. And even though he's kind of backtracking on what he's saying now, like I seen that, so I would show me.
Playing devil's
I would show
advocate
me.
to catch
I would,
you Pan-Africans and some BS.
No.
What you mean?
I would show me if on the same show that he showed himself. So if that's what you want to.
He never showed his face. Not even I know what he looked like, and I'm a mainstay on his channel.
He got a video that where he showed books, and I seen that.
He only showed his arm.
I seen that.
You can tell somebody face by their arm.
I seen that biracial looking arm reaching out there. That's all.
How can you tell if he biracial or not? No. How can you tell?
Wow.
All you saw was a brown hand.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It wasn't brown.
How can you tell what his face looked like just by his hands?
So let me go on to the next thing. All right, so do you? All right, so I gave enough time. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'd be getting caught up.
Yeah, all I was gonna say, forecast on all of that, right? Is I don't know much about Muskogee people, so I had to just look up the numbers, and the last time a census was done, looks like 14,000 Muskogee people have died since the last time that the previous numbers were taken, and according to the U.S. Census, there's only 55,000, or I guess you could say 56,000 Muskogee people. Hey, everything you're talking about doing sure sound like a huge number to get something going. So sounds like some fanciful tales.
Leaving out paper genocide.
All I'm saying is sounds like some fanciful tales you guys are having. Sounds like some fanciful tales.
What are you talking about, dude?
Damn, there's more Gullah Geechee people than that? Damn.
Are you going to leave out the facts of 3/5 compromise?
No,
genocide,
we're using the documentation we have, just like you're using. We're using the documentation we have, just like you're using. So guess what? You guys don't even have a. You guys are barely a squirrel fart.
Peer reviewing research.
Hey, you people are barely a squirrel fart in the massive population of this country,
barely
man.
A squirrel fart if all Indians were not killed by disease, and you're not told anything about Indian slavery that took place 200 years before alleged Africans got brought in. And second, you keep changing your dates on when Africans allegedly arrived.
Hold
on, keep dreaming
man.
What? Okay, what year did Africans
dreaming
arrive
fanciful
in America?
tales, man. You guys have fanciful tales. You're gonna build a nation.
Did Africans arrive in the 13 colonies?
Hey,
what year?
Hey, just lull yourself to sleep, man. You and your 55,000
Black
people,
Magus,
man.
what year did Africans arrive in the 13 colonies? Answer this. Answer this. What year?
Just lull yourself to sleep.
What year did Africans arrive in the 13 colonies of the United States?
I'm gonna go use Henry Louis Gates numbers, man. I'm gonna go find out. Let me go watch a Henry Louis Gates documentary real quick.
All right, y'all. All right, because y'all
got you, because you ain't got no answer for that. You don't know when Africans came in.
Now, Rod's right. It's a total distraction. And I'll let it be, you know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about the Gullah Geechee, you know what I'm saying? And Bakari ran on the Gullah Geechee thing. He was going to come on and troll. So I guess he took this spot. But, so listen, man, Tyron, you can stay on here, bro. But, like, I just wish you could stick to the topic instead of trying to go back to the same thing. Because we're not talking about none of what you're talking about right now. And we're trying to talk about things that help you and the black people, because I ain't doing nothing for the damn Indian, the Asian looking Indian, Muskogee Indians.
Whoever said I'm talking about Asian looking?
The ones aren't there Asian looking Muskogee Indians?
Whoever said I'm talking about them.
Is there a need to distinguish yourself between you and them?
But whoever said I'm including them?
I'm asking you, so you should be able to.
Am I speaking on the Oklahoma Creek? No, I'm speaking on the Negroes that are from the area in the Southeast that the Muskogeans lived at.
So, but I'm saying, because I don't know, are there like the Muskogee Indians that aren't like us, that are Asian looking ones? You know what I'm saying? Aren't there, right?
Huh?
Never mind, bro.
You said what?
Aren't there Asian looking kind of Muskogee Indians?
No, nigga.
There are not.
No.
Man, it got racist real fast, and here we dropping N-bombs. Look, again, self-hatred. Wow.
I tried to let it slide.
Self-hatred of what, Black Magus? What West African tribe do you belong to?
Hey, how about you take the racial epithets out? How about you just show an amount of respect to somebody by not even dropping the N-word?
Hold on, wait a minute. Because we can look at the history.
Why we gotta drop to
Negro to terror before Africans got brought in?
Why do we have to drop to racial epithets when nobody brought any kind of
why do we have
any
to
of that
drop
in
to
here?
Sub-Sahara and Bantu?
You know why? It's because you
that
ain't
was
your
never
feelings.
used in the lexicon during slavery.
We understand.
Black Magus is okay because he calls himself an Indian when Indians say that's a disrespectful term. That's why I would rather call you a Native
do realize
American.
Native American is a European term, right?
I would tell any black person that they are not American.
You do realize black is a negative term, right? Before the 1960s, right?
Oh my God.
Yo,
Hello.
black people,
everything to you is negative term, even
the
knowledge.
Was the Negro called colored before the Black Power movement?
No, yeah, I would tell you
When
this.
the
Like,
Negro called a
hold on, let me
Negro
ask
and
you this.
colored and mulatto before the Black Power movement?
No, they
Weren't
was
they
not call-
fighting each
no,
other
no.
for
Hold on,
calling
let
each
me
other
ask you.
black?
Let me ask you this, yo, because like
Hello?
you did finally say something that's true. You know what I'm saying? They did not call themselves mulatto though. You know what I'm saying? But they did not say black. Black was a negative thing. It was colored at the time. But now colored is like we not people of color. You know what I'm saying? We're black. You know what I'm saying? Like that is changed.
Okay, how are you black if your skin brown? If your Negroes was calling themselves copper colored, sepia,
but that goes back to my question.
pumpkin colored. Hold on, wait a
But
minute.
that's why you're not. That's what you're not grasping. That's why I even brought this up because you came back around on the wrong end though, and so that's why you still kind of wrong. Because that's why I asked you. Isn't there
Wrong how
something?
so, bro?
Because that's why I asked
Is
you.
your skin black?
Because
Forecast.
listen. That's why I asked you. Shouldn't there be
Forecast.
something
What shade of black are you?
Listen. That's why I asked you. Shouldn't you find something that distinguishes yourself from the Asian looking ones? Because you said I don't include them. I'm not talking about.
Indians called Negro the terror before Africans got brought in. Is that true?
I don't know, bro. So let
Because
me
those
go
are
on.
interchangeable terms, right?
Right. So
have you ever picked up a thesaurus?
All right. So
Forecast. We lose. Forecast.
Why are so-called black people allergic to thesauruses?
Hey, look. You gotta have to listen. You gonna have to like pay attention to it. You gonna have to stick to the topic on. I'm gonna let you stay on.
Why are you allergic to synonyms?
Listen, bro. Because like not all of us is as impressed with the King's English, the white man's words as much as you are, bro. So listen, if you can't stick to the topic, bro, I don't want to kick you off. I want you to stick to the topic because I know you more than just one dimension. You remind me of my little cousin. That's why I even give it the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my little cousin do the same thing. Like, and I remember one time we got mad because he broke my PlayStation off. But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you just gotta stick to the topic, bro. Like, you don't have the capacity or something to like, you know what I'm saying, stick to the topic. So, can
you read this?
No, I can't, bro. So now I'm about to show you. I'm going
Pull
on
up my screen, bro.
No, I'm not, bro. Like I said, if you keep talking, I'm gonna have to kick you off this joint because I'm not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you be wilding out.
I mean, technically we said 5 minutes, man, and then you was gonna kick him anyway. So I mean,
that's true. That's true. That's my bad. I'm trying, y'all, because I don't have a problem with him. You know, even though other people do, and y'all get mad at me because of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll be like, bro, like you gotta work with me because I be fighting to let you stay on here, bro. Like, work with me here, son. All right, so I'm gonna even skip through what I was gonna show, right? Because listen, man. All right, I'll let you run away from the Gullah Geechee thing, right? And I was gonna show the George Washington and slaves running away. I know because he probably don't want us to talk about white people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the slaves running away. So I'm gonna just like skim through this, right?
And he was born and you had the battle, and he joined Lord Dunmore's forces.
All right, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna skip through this, right? Because I showed this, but this is something that I wanted to really show. And y'all remember I was talking about Martha Washington and getting poisoned or whatever. Well, now it's freezing up.
That is the one thing that Major Champ Justin Rose loves about the.
Yeah, my computer freezing up now. So let me hurry up. All right, so I'm not gonna play the Martha Washington thing, but I'm gonna play something that that people did do because, like, you know, we was talking about the conspiracy with slaves poisoning the masters and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let me play that. I see y'all straight making myself lag now at this point. Because I'm pretty sure, hopefully we all can agree on this.
You did me for a fool, boy.
Agree on a fictional novel?
Have been
No,
particularly
bro.
interested in is understanding the ways in which enslaved Africans resisted. People say, well, if slavery was so brutal, why were there not more slave rebellions? In fact, scholars have now documented
times in U.S. history. The most famous is Nat Turner's revolt in 18 and killed a teacher and about a dozen children.
He basically says, who do you think these children will grow up to be? These children are groomed from a young age to be masters, to be slave owners.
Get that loaded on the wagon. We have to understand also why there aren't things like Nat Turner happening every month of every year across the South.
Quickly, come on, move.
Actually, there were things like the Yamasee War. There was the Stono Rebellion.
Yo, none of that happened. Yo,
on.
stop, yo, stop. This didn't happen yet, bro.
Even
Damn.
Actually, it did because Indians were already the proto-chattel before Africans got brought in.
Bro, we not you naming specific events that happened late. Like, yo, that's what I'm just saying.
Actually, the Yamasee War happened during.
Yo, I'm gonna have to.
What are you talking about, bro?
What year was that, bro?
Bro, it happened before Africans got brought in.
What year?
Do you not know the history of South Carolina?
What year? What year?
Do you not know that? Do you not know?
Don't know, do you?
Do you not know what you? Hold on. Because you claiming Africans came in at the Yamasee War?
I'm gonna have to kick you off, bro. Because you said you sitting there talking about wars from the 1850s. You said the whatchamacallit war, which is in 1811. And I haven't got to that point yet. That's why I say you haven't even paid attention to nothing.
1715. You don't know when the Yamasee War started?
That was not that war, bro. Yo, this is why I'm gonna have to kick you off, bro, because you one track minded, bro. Like, this is not even about none of that, bro. This not even about a particular rebellion.
But dude, what are you using as your source?
Bro,
Roots, right?
Okay, no. What does this look? Okay,
it says Roots on the screen, bro.
Let me ask you this. No, bro, like, yo, it's not the movie Roots, son. Like, yo, do you think that slaves use poison to like poison the slave masters and stuff like that?
My God.
Do
you
think
not know how wars were fought, bro?
Did you hear my question?
Dude, they use guerrilla warfare.
Do you think that slaves use poison? The people that cook their food, do you think they put poison? Do you think they poisoned their stuff? Do you think they did that?
Yes and no.
Oh my God, man. Look, I'm gonna have to kick you off, bro, because you don't like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you can't do it, bro. Like, I don't know why, bro. All right, man. Peace, bro. Like, next time, man, I'll set up a show for you to come on. How about that? You know what I'm saying? You tell me the date.
Okay,
I'll do that for you. Tell me which day you want to set up a show for you to come on, and I'll do that.
Anytime.
All right. And just tell me, you let me know. You just put it in the chat, bro. All
but why are you using Roots as your source, though? Explain that to me.
Jesus Christ, bro. You think that was the movie Roots, bro? Is that
Bruh,
what you're telling me?
You're
right
using
now?
a documentary using clips from Roots. That's a fictional story.
Which part of any of those clips came from the movie Roots, bro?
Bruh, it came from that reboot that they came out with in 2015.
No, dog. Like, yo, let me explain to you before I kick you off here. This is why I'm kicking you off here. You know why they call that particular video on YouTube that's 3 minutes, not a movie or none of that stuff.
My God, it's literally the actor from that movie.
Bro, that you talking about the title on the video. You know why they say Roots is because they was talking about slaves.
Alex Haley's Roots. Yes.
No, they was not talking about the movie Roots. They was talking about using plants, bro. Plants. Do you understand that?
Did you not see the title in the video, bro?
Yeah.
Did you not see the actor from the 2015 reboot?
Forecast, bro. The dude just want to fight over semantics, bro. Just let him go. Just let him go.
It's not even so
but it's deeper than it because he really think he's a movie Roots, bro.
My God, you just used a movie called Roots, the reboot Roots documentary with Nat Turner mentioned in it.
Yeah,
come on now.
Forecast. I don't know nothing about this Muskogee stuff. But I just happened to see that it's connected to the dude.
What's your indigenous tribe,
Calloway. So that tells me all I need to know.
Tell me what's your indigenous tribe in Africa.
So, hey,
what's your indigenous tribe?
Yo, Tyron,
just cut him, bro.
Yo, I'm sorry. Look, because at first I thought he was trolling, but now I'm like, yo, this brother is serious. Like, that's why
I told you, self-hatred, man.
Yo, no. What I mean by serious is the brother didn't know that he really think that that's the movie Roots right there. Like, yo, I'm like, what? Like, which part of that is Roots? Like, no, I get he's trolling. He came on here to troll, and I let him come on for a minute because we was talking about the Gullah Geechee thing and Bakari ran. You know what I'm saying? But like, damn, yo, like I know he be saying BS because he don't believe what he say. That's how you can get. Don't get emotional when you be talking. That's why I be trying to explain to y'all, because it's gonna be people that come to run interference like that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to stay focused and not let them get you off your guard. And people hate that. Y'all hate me for doing that stuff. I'm sorry, but I like to troll trolls. I'm sorry, y'all. So I apologize. But man, yo, I don't even know what to say about that one. You know what I'm saying? But it's not Roots, man. It's different forms of rebellion. They're talking about them using plants, you know what I'm saying, and poisoning people's food, you know what I'm saying, not the movie Roots. All right, let me show this real quick, yo. All right, so we talked about Gabriel's rebellion, so I don't have to show this, right? You know what I'm saying? But we talked about it, so that's good that we talked about it at the beginning. And I knew this was gonna go left, you know what I'm saying? But I do want to show a marker here so that we can start to get visuals. Oh yeah, and I encourage everybody who has like in an area where you can show like a marker or a visual thing, like use whatever medium you got. Like, you know, my brother here on IG, if you're around something that's like a marker that you can show, like I encourage us to do that, and I need to do it more, you know.
All right, my stuff had cut out. Did you ask us for something, Forecast?
Oh yeah, well, no, I was just saying like anybody who's in a particular area, like, you know what I'm saying, who got historical markers, like, because I showed the Gabriel Prosser thing, and luckily we talked about it earlier, but I was just showing a historical marker for that.
Okay, yeah. Actually, when the video showed that historical marker, the first thing that really came to my mind was how throughout this country, and I know I'm not answering your question right now, but the thing that came to my mind was I like the fact that as I travel through this country, when I take road trips, especially going down I-80, you know, coming over there to the East Coast, like all of the markers signifying things that Black people have, you know, have done, places where they've been, but yet Emmett Till, his marker, his man, the thing leading to about highlighting his life, his death, how that's always destroyed. I just found that to be like, that's kind of just shows you what Mississippi is. But as far as actual markers here in Colorado, there is a marker in the original Black settlement town, where Benjamin Pap Singleton, where he took the Exodusters when he left out of what was it? Actually, out of Oklahoma, I think it was. If not Oklahoma, one of those areas around Oklahoma, where he took Black people on a mass migration throughout the Midwest until finally settling here in Colorado and creating the first Black town here. But there's markers along the entire trail through Kansas, Oklahoma, and parts of Colorado, leading to where the Exodusters actually went, and cities and towns that they had created.
Yeah, yo, but yeah, and yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like I think it's important. Like, well, I think it would be good for. I ain't gonna say important, but I do think it's important that we have start to have visuals. Like, I want to go and show like the Lumpkins jail, like that's downtown. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a notorious spot, and the right now it became the 2nd Street Market where they sell fruit, but it was the market where they sold slaves. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should be seeing. I think I'm a visual learner, so you know that's just me.
I take that as a charge. I take that as a charge, and you know what? I think I'll make sure to do that, because that town is now considered a ghost town, but I believe there still is a historian there, And so I'm gonna have to actually make sure I plan a trip, and I'll make sure I do a broadcast on that. Just because you're making sure to call it out, I'll make sure that I actually do it, brother.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, yo. I'll be looking for it. I need to do that myself. I fell off a little bit, but I did one and then fell off. But but this brother, he got a lot of them in Richmond, so they met every Sunday at this spot. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes when brothers like that last brother come in, you know what I'm saying, like they would have done something differently than I did. You know what I'm saying, where they might not have let that brother walk out of there. But that's a whole nother subject.
Talking about the brother in the video, right? And not the one who just got kicked off.
No, I'm talking about the people back in the day. They might would have not let the brother that just got kicked off come in the circle and be able to walk out the circle.
Okay, yeah, and again, right? That speaks to the schism. And I'm glad that we entertained that last schism for about 30 minutes. But again, it's always about identity, and it always boils down to identity politics, where people, again, full of self-hatred. I'm not black. I'm not just to say, again, I'm only saying black to say African. I'm not a descendant of anything of Africa. And as people in the chat were saying, again, I know nothing about this Muskegee stuff. I grew up deep south, so I heard of the Indian stuff, and I never understood it because I'm like, yo, I mean, and it still goes on to this day in New Orleans, especially during Mardi Gras. That's the only time that you really hear about the quote unquote black Indians, but all they ever do is get drunk, fight, and shoot up the goddamn place. So what's the point in being Indian, right? You're only Indian now in stereotypical form, I guess you would say, what America says. You guys are nothing but a bunch of drunks, and you don't do anything to grift on to anybody else's identity, because being black, being African is too hurtful. To be African, you have to accept that you are part of this this group of people who have been assaulted and at least here in America, reduced to the lowest class of citizenship. Oh man, citizens. And a lot of people don't want to accept that, because I'm great. I come from something else. Well, guess what? You could be great by accepting exactly who you are and everything that our people have done. Even if you want to say it about, here in Americas, well, guess what? Our people, if you want to go on and say that they built this land and the foundations of it, even though they were under the foot of chattel slavery, okay, that's still something that you can highlight as greatness and connect it to your actual African heritage. You want to go grift over to somebody else's stuff and then say that you can't, there's not genealogy tests that can even find black DNA. Like, bro, I really started checking out.
Yeah, don't take that serious, because anybody who says he says black, the word black, he calls black more than we do, you know what I'm saying? And anybody who be like mulattoes is black, but he didn't say he's not black, you know what I'm saying, or we're not black, But my brother,
I'll just end with this last part on that. Is it's ironic how everybody who has black skin quick to use the N-word when talking to those who don't identify with their identity.
Yeah, you almost sound like Rifleman this, but or like whatchamacallit, like the mulatto Dwayne. But yo, my brother D Webb came on. What's good, my brother?
What's going on with you, man? Been a minute. What's going on with you, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you been, bro?
I'm straight, man. You too nice to these cats, man.
I know, bro. I know.
I've been telling you that for a hot minute, but you too nice to this cat, because he don't even know his own history. The first thing, like, I know you talking about trolling the trollers. You feel me? When you troll the trollers, all you gotta do is ask questions. All you gotta do is ask questions. They don't know their own history. He claiming Muskogee or Creek, as they call these days. The same people who fought against the Seminole in the Seminoles War. They chose the white man in the Seminole War. You're talking about the first of the civilized tribes. Why would you even be proud of that? Civilized tribes, people don't know the first 5 civilized tribes, but people who agreed to abide by Christianity. They agreed to own slaves. They agreed to abide by all of the rules upon which the white man has been living. And that's why they're called the civilized tribe. And this was number 1. The Muskegee or Creek are number 1. They was the first ones who signed the treaty, right? So
Mike Ball man, where the Mike Ball man?
Yeah, honestly, bro, if you're coming here talking to us who claim an African, right? You're in the wrong place, bro. The Muskegee OU, they signed a treaty. You know what I'm saying? They signed a whole treaty, which ironically invalidates their whole claim to reparations. Because your people signed a treaty. You should be on the motherfucking reservation right now, telling them they're $5 Indians and telling them to give you they just dues. But honestly, a lot of them living like shit. That's how you know these people never traveled, yo. I've been to Navajo Nation, which is Navajos were one of the few tribes that didn't sell out, right? But if you go to any of these reservations, they live like crap, bro. Outside of Seminoles who signed a deal with like Florida, and they're trying to kick the black Seminoles out. They're still practicing race-based politics to this day in a lot of these tribes, upon which if they are successful, if they are signing deals, they're not even trying to give the black people their just dues. So the fact that you're claiming heritage in that in itself shows that you're an idiot and you don't even know your history. You know what I'm saying? I wish you would tag me in earlier. I destroyed the brother. But it's all good. You know. As far as your markers, though, you know, I think I'm in the area where it's a lot of good markers. I didn't catch the earlier part of your conversation, brother, but I'm kind of getting into it, the gist of it. I'm in the Southeast right now, Jacksonville, which has a slave port, as well as Charleston. My oldest kid is in Charleston. I took her to the port there, one of the largest ports where they imported slaves, and you can see a lot of your history right there. You know what I'm saying? You can see a lot of what went on right there. And a lot of people, like I said, the biggest education, I was talking earlier on my platform, brother, the biggest education you can get is to travel, is to get out of your neighborhood. That brother living in his mama basement. I seen a little when he showed his little screen and forgot to take it off before he showed. Bro, you living foul. You living real foul. Get out of your mom's basement, bro. Do some traveling. Go see your actual history. There are roles where you can see where the slaves come in. There are roles where you can see the original names. I've traced my genealogy. You can do it. It's pretty easy, bro. You can get to about the early 1800s, maybe late 1700s for it to get a little murky. But you can trace your genealogy and see what went on. It's not a hard thing to do. You just got to get off your ass and get out of your mama's basement, and it's easy to do. You know what I'm saying? But these people just listen to Dane Calloway sit in their fucking mom's house and don't actually do any research. You know what I'm saying? And the way you troll the troll is put them on the defense, bro. You put them on the defense.
So just real quick, I want to ask you a question, because I don't know nothing about this Dane Calloway dude. I've only heard people mention him. Can you give me a quick synopsis of who this dude is and what he talks about, so I can understand people with that kind of mindset?
I don't largely listen to this character. I just know the gist and the basics of it, which is basically that we were the original Native Americans and we were here first and all of this other stuff. However, you can simply go to the thing about Native Americans, man. They have one of the greatest oral histories ever in life. They still have medicine men, and these people don't go to these reservations, bro. Like I said, I've been in Navajo Nation. I've been all to this stuff, right? I've kicked it with these people, bro. And they will gladly tell you the history. But if you notice, the majority of these trolls, they don't go to them and talk that shit. It was one of the best moments I've ever seen was when Clubhouse was cracking and you had a Native American tribe on there, and they came and it's like, yo, y'all not us, yo. Like, y'all are different. You know what I'm saying? They explained it to him, broke down, and actually embarrassed one of these Dane Calloway followers because they won't go there and spout that. They will only come on these type of platforms. They will only go on Pan-African platforms. They will only go to other black people and spout that nonsense, because if they go to the actual Native Americans, the actual elders of the tribes, the actual people who know their oral history, right, and still repeat it to this day, they'll embarrass them easily. They don't do that. That's what grifters do. These people, like you said earlier, bro, Black Magus, I think you said it, bro. These people have self-hate. You know, they have self-hate. They've been taught They're inferior. They've been taught that they didn't invent shit. They've been taught all this other stuff. So, and ironically, their whole claim invalidates the claim for reparations, which half of them are reparationists. It invalidates them because all of those tribes signed treaties, bro. You're barking up the wrong tree. But when you don't know international politics, when you don't know civics, when you don't know any of these things, and you just listen to one grifter who wants to sell books and get clicks on his videos and stuff like that, then you end up where you are. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I wouldn't even listen to nobody who's fat anyway. Dan Calloway's a fatty. Y'all wouldn't even listen to nobody like that anyway, because you can't even control your caloric intake. So how the hell are you going to go into the discipline it takes to do research in order to file your genealogy? But all you got to do is read Destruction of a Black Civilization. It'll go to everything that happened. You know, that brother did his research very good in that. But these people won't do that, bro, because they want to feel as though they have some type of accomplishments, and they've been taught that African or claiming African is inferiority. In reality, when you're talking about the African diaspora, you're just talking about people who are on one continent who spread out. Of course, it's Black people everywhere because they traveled, right? But they just want to focus on this one little speck of their entire history, right? And you notice they never go past about like 1619, 1650 or whatever. Bro, you've been there 500,000 years. You have a whole history to go to, but you won't go that far. You won't go that deep though. You know what I'm saying? So
yes. They've become Dane Calloway is basically a hope dealer, like I call FBA and ADOS. They just hope dealers. Then
there you
gotcha.
There you go. The Yvette Carnells of the world. These people who have and to be honest, that's why I did the little hat, right? The little hat people call Black people like basically gold, right? Black gold. Like the easiest money you can make is to give people who are downtrodden hope. You know what I'm saying? That's why Tariq was able to raise like $1 million in a week. You know, when we have grassroots programs who can't even get volunteers, let alone money, it's because once you sell that hopium, it's like the greatest drug, the greatest narcotic that you can sell. It's easy money to these type of people, man. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go to these people, this cat that won't travel, won't fire up his his mom's Cavalier and go somewhere to a tribe and talk to these people, right? Scared to do that. Honestly, these people are scared to do that. They won't dare go over there and talk that bull. But that's what you need to do, yo. That's one of the things that I wish that was a greater priority in our community, is to actually get out of here. Because even in just America, just your point of talking about these different points, right? These different historical points that we can go to, they're there, bro. They're there. You can easily research your history. You can easily do all these things, but we just don't do it, bro. I don't know what it is, but you got to do it. You got to get out your neighborhood. You got to get off your block, right? But I ain't gonna take too much of your show, man. I've been rambling for a little bit, but bro, I appreciate you having me on.
No, this is all facts, yo, and I appreciate you coming on here, yo. And salute to D-Web, y'all. And I gotta get my timing right, because like I gotta get the right weekend to do, you know what I'm saying? Because D-Web show, y'all subscribe to D-Web, you know what I'm saying? Because I check out all of your shows too, you know what I'm saying? I'll be checking out everybody, I ain't gonna lie, but like some of the things that y'all say, you know, I'm not gonna lie, right? Like for me, I'm gonna be real with you, you know what I'm saying? Even with that brother, right? You know, like like for me, you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of my little cousin, because my little cousin do the same kind of thing.
Hold on, forecast. Yeah. When you say stuff like that, don't relate it to a family member. Talk about that actual behavior, that mentality.
But that's the mentality my little cousin has. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a one-track kind of mentality. Is almost like, not to disrespect that brother or call him like slow or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, it's like my cousin, he can only stay with one track, you know what I'm saying, mindset. And D-Web made a lot of good points, and I need to toughen up, you know what I'm saying? I definitely need to toughen up when it comes to Black people, and I understand that, you know what I'm saying? You absolutely right, you know what I'm saying? But like even with that brother, you know what I'm saying, like it's a bunch of questions, like even with the slave ship thing. So you immediately ask him, yo, well, you believe in slave ship, but his defense is automatically to go back to the same talking point over and over. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's the dumbest. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest argument. Bro, I live in the South right now. I'm from Chicago. I'm living in the South. wood fence don't last 10 years, bro. My wood fence I bought in 2016, it's falling apart, bro. You talking about a wood ship, bro, on the ocean, the salt ocean. You think it's just gonna last 300 years? Yo, after that, I can't talk to you no more, yo. I'm sorry, but I have this thing where like I can't deal with stupid people, bro. And I know you're a lot more diplomatic than me, bro. You're a lot less hostile than me, bro. But I can't deal with stupid people like that, bro. When you talk to me about slaves, I know you're retarded. And I hate to use this word, but it is what it is, bro. You're retarded, bro. You don't know that a wood ship don't last 300 years. You don't know that the ships, they say the Santa, the Maria, and the Pinta, you don't know that those are recreations. Like, is it that serious, bro? Once you make that point to me, I know it's like, oh, it's a Dan Calloway student. Oh, it's a Tariq Nasheed student or whatever, right? I know where you're coming from. And honestly, yo, their savior, their best person, Tariq Nasheed, I watched him get washed by a actual white supremacist in a debate because he's stupid. He's dumb. He was the worst person on Hidden Colors, yo. He didn't know what he's talking about. Honestly, if he got on the debate stage with a lot of those people he had in the movie, they'd have washed him, yo. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. Huh? So I hate that point. Like if you're gonna go about that grifter way of making the where are the slave ships point, yo, like I would cut you off there.
Hey, we should have asked them to produce for us the first Arrowhead then of his people.
Yeah. Arrowhead.
But
he
see,
he don't know Muskogee history, bro. He don't even know. He still call them. They call themselves Creek now. You don't even know your own history, dog. So it's like, when was the last powwow you went to, bro? Like, tell me, when was the last powwow?
But see, this is the thing, though. This is what I'm saying, like, because my goal is not to try to change his mind, but like, I do think it's important not to just let like certain talking points just be out there. Like maybe like I didn't like maybe somebody could be better at like crushing the talking points because I'd be way too nice with it, especially with black people. You know what I'm saying? But like what he's saying, like we know what he's saying is disingenuous because he'd be like, where are the slave ships? But then he also argued that there are slave ships that took black people from America to other places. They just wasn't slave ships. And like the brother last time he came on here, he said, well, it was no such thing as indentured servants in the 1600s. So I was like, yo, so it wasn't black people indentured servants? He was like, yeah, but how could it be if there was no such thing? So like, there's a disingenuous thing, I think. And like, yo, my brother MD2 was here, you know what I'm saying? And the one thing I salute about MD2, you know what I'm saying, at least with me, you know, I think that the older generation where we kept dropping the ball and recent generations is where we were like, yo, well, I'm just not going to deal with it. Like, it's not about changing that person. It's about, because the younger generation is going to hear what they're saying. And the loudest person oftentimes attract the most people. Like, sometimes we got to, I believe in destroying talking points, especially on platforms like this, because it's just like YouTube is nothing but you know, like everything I say is true. I'm not trying to say no lies or I'm trying to put out facts and stuff, but it's still propaganda to like, you know, further my agenda, and which is for me to destroy all of it. You know what I'm saying? I believe in destroying talking points. But
so Forecast, let me ask you this then, in the interest of keeping the energy on that point right there. Because I've seen you, I guess Raw is the person, at least in my opinion, looks like the person that you give the highest respect to, but you will go against her on keeping, you know, people like American First Rifleman in the dialogue, so he can expound the fanciful tales of things that they like talking about. And I hear the reason of why you do it, right? For the same thing that you just said right now. Like, you like to let them you know, give their talking points so that we can have that dialogue. But then we never get that dialogue because they don't ever just shut the hell up so we can have that back and forth, so we can actually have a debate. So my question to you is, why do you like to give them the room to espouse their diatribe when we know that we're never going to be able to actually combat it, because they're always going to try to over talk and let things go into again more diatribe of nothing being able to be solved? Like, we know that their talking points are dumb and stupid, but we don't give them a chance to actually answer them. Because when I asked him the same questions that he asked me, okay, he didn't answer anything. He just went on to espousing more stupidity. That's a question to you.
Yeah, and that's a super fair assessment, and that's something that I do got to work on. I'll say that first, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, yeah, I definitely show raw respect. I show all of y'all respect, and it affect me when y'all be telling me this, you know what I'm saying? But like, I guess you are right, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, I could mute them. I try not to mute them, like, especially with that brother. Like, other brothers will be quiet, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like with Hardcore, he'll come on here and he'll like be at least be respectful of the panel, you know what I'm saying? It just won't just interrupt. That brother just can't control himself, you know what I'm saying? And I even kicked him off here now. And I don't like kicking people off. I don't like muting people, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, that's something that I definitely got to work on. That's definitely a fair assessment when you say that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, like certain other people say a lot of crazy stuff that I would cut off too, you know what I'm saying? Like, people be talking about mad spooked out stuff that I feel like is the same, just as crazy. Like, if I was to say like yo, certain Pan-African brothers, you know what I'm saying, is say just this coon stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because where you think First Rifleman get his talking points from? Like, certain people get a pass, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if I give this person a pass, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm just looking at it like, maybe you're right, you know what I'm saying? I need to be more discerning, but like, you know, I'd be like, if I give this person a pass, why not give this person a pass? Because I'm kind of more harder on the other person than y'all are, you know what I'm saying? I think that's more because that person knows what they're doing. I think that brother right there is, you know what I'm saying, like I don't want to say like slow or nothing like that, but like, you know, I don't know. Like, it's a diss, but I don't mean it as a diss, so I apologize. But it's like LD we used to say.
So okay, I think I just came up with a solution for that then, and I say we do this in a sense of being respectful to your platform and to the audience, but it ain't gonna be done for free. Like it because this is gonna be you using your platform that you pay for and everything like that. And I 100% believe that those who want to participate in this need to kick out at least a minimum of $20 to you. You need to pick a subject and put on an actual debate.
No, I don't want to do that though. Like, especially like asking for money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no. Listen. It's not for you asking for money. It is for the work that you're going to do to put on the platform to actually hold the debate, and it will be a 2-man team for those for it and a 2-man team for those against it. And let it be on, you know, if you're saying Hard Code and the whatever the hell his name is who just got kicked off, if they talk to Muskegees, the most, however the hell you say it, if that's the stuff that they talk, then pick a topic that deals with that identity politic thing that will be in their category of information that they know, and then pick those who are on. And I don't go with the Pan-African stuff. I don't know why people always come in and they always assume just because we're talking about Africans or being proud to be black that everything is Pan-African. But if we're going to say that term just for generalization, then pick 2 Pan-Africans and then let the debate go. But you are going to be the one hosting it. You're going to be the one giving the actual timer. Like, it's actually work that you have to put into it. And that's why I'm saying, like, yo, $20 kicked out to you. That don't sound like much to me.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, and I'm gonna let D-Web and RBG you know, comment on. But I would say this though, like, because I'm not actually like trying. I don't ever want to get into the ADOS versus, like, I think that's somebody else's talking point. That, like, not to say we haven't been arguing about that for a while. I just think that that's somebody else's talking point, and like, yo, like, if you ADOS, like, yo, the truth is, like, yo, we trying to do stuff for black people in America, so I support you. You Pan-African, you trying to do black people stuff for black people elsewhere, I support that. Like, and if you're trying to do both, like, I definitely support that. But like I think a lot of people on both sides just want to argue about it and don't want to do anything. Like that brother came on. We had the thing for people in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like that's in America. You know what I'm saying? That's Indian, if you want to call it that. Like I don't care what you call it. I don't care if you say black. I don't care if you be like a planeteer. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, it's what we doing for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't really want to get into the debates and like even though I entertained it, but that brother just can't hold the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's the only problem with him. I can't have him on like that. So, but D-Web, you want to say something, RBG?
Well, I think that I mean, as far as like giving people, I mean, I don't have a platform. I'm just here on you know what I'm saying, the good graces of, you know what I'm saying, of you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, the people around me that think, you know what I'm saying, I'm worthy to be here. I mean, as a perspective of just, you know what I'm saying, seeing people who tend to distract all the time. I mean, I'm always suspect. I mean, for real, in my heart, like I'll be very suspicious about people who are just naturally just go against the grain, because I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, if they really like, you know, authentic, wholesome, like black people, like I mean, I'll be having the questions like, are these people like using them like voice modifiers, like, you know what I'm saying, for real, like they can talk and use the vernacular, but I mean, like in this day and age, like I'm always real skeptical about that. So I mean, I would have, you know what I'm saying, like cut him off real soon, because he naturally, like we try to I asked him a question about the whole lineage thing, and when that went left, he didn't really address that or square that up. I mean, like you can't give it too much time. I mean, you sit here, ask 2-3 questions, you know what I'm saying? It's like you need to square up, you know what I'm saying? You're definitely out of bounds at some point, you know what I'm saying? You're not within the realm of, you know what I'm saying, what the topic is, you know what I'm saying? You have to go ahead, you know what I'm saying, but loose up, you know, tighten up them bootstraps, you know what I'm saying? Just let one rip. Sometimes you just gotta let them go. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's not my show. That's just, you know what I'm saying, what crosses my mind.
I mean, as far as me, man, we're kind of in this weird timeline, bro, where you're switching from, I don't know if people know the terms, from 4th generation warfare to 5th generation warfare. You're seeing the kind of destruction of, you're seeing the fall of Rome, right? You're seeing the fall of Babylon. You're seeing different entities, different groups kind of posture up to grab the crumbs, right? And that's what it is, right? So as far as your platform, and I would never criticize your platform. Your platform is your platform, Forecast, right? But you know, you also don't want to give people an avenue to propagandize your own platform, right? So if you're going to invite these people on for the purpose of, I'd say, you know, showing how backwards in their thinking they are, you got to actually embarrass their asses, right? So if I was like looking at this last conversation from its face value, this brother was getting more time than a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying, to spout his nonsense. So I know it's nonsense, but a lot of people don't. So when they come on, they may think that this dude's actually winning the debate, right? They may actually think he is making good points. So if you're going to destroy a person, you got to destroy a person. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave no prisoners. If you're going to embarrass them, you embarrass them. Because I guarantee you, if you went on Tariq's platform and you were making good points, he'd just cut your mic off and start like making African jokes within 5 minutes or whatever, right? That's what he's going to do. So if you're going to go about that way, you got to make sure that you do it right. You got to make sure you do it correctly, which is fucking take them to the back of the shed with the paddle and get it cracking. So that's my thing, yo. If you're gonna have these people on, these different voices or whatever, you got to make sure that you have the wherewithal to take them out the game, to make them look bad. Otherwise, you know, you're just giving them a platform to spout their nonsense, and somebody might hear it and actually think that that's what's up. They might think that that's what's up. You know, they might think that Dan Calloway's know what the fuck he's talking about, right? They might think that cat know what he's talking about. It might sound good to them, man. People are very simple. So you gotta, like I said, if you're gonna go at them, you gotta go at them, bro. You know,
to just quickly veggie back on what D-Web is saying, Forecast, since YouTube has added that clip it feature, like that's what these dudes do now. They put in their talking parts on your platform and then clip all that out to say, see what I said, see what I said on there. They ain't had nothing for that. They don't show what you actually had to say against them. They just like using their own mouthpiece so that they can further their agenda.
No, yo, what y'all saying is fair, especially on this one. You know what I'm saying? The last time he ran, that's why he haven't been here for months. And like I said, his boy had me on his joint and haven't been live for months. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all absolutely right. Because I started doing that, especially after I realized when Raw broke it down to me. You know what I'm saying? How, you know what I'm saying, it was. You know what I'm saying? But even even with that, right? So that with that brother, you know what I'm saying, like they don't even use the clips on here. Like, yo, if you notice, he used the clips from everywhere else, but they do not use the clips on here because they know what they're saying is nonsense. And they know, like, deep down, like, what they're saying, they're getting exposed because even their own crowd disagree with them with what I'm saying. And I pay attention to their whole thing, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, yeah, today I probably should have cut them off earlier. That's why I even kicked them off, you know what I'm saying? Because I normally probably wouldn't have kicked anybody off, but I'm like, what y'all saying is absolutely fair, you know what I'm saying? And I do need to turn up a lot more, you know what I'm saying? And that's a fair criticism because I do be tripping, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, just invite me, bro.
Yeah, I got you, my brother. I got you. But see, that's my thing. Like, and it's crazy because when I had a white dude on, I was like that on him, and it was black people telling me, well, yo, why you so mean to the white boy? And I generally don't try to do that to other black people, even though, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's questionable whether they are black or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you. Because, like, if I was to be real, like, the dude got a Asian last name, he probably half Asian, you know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. Just like the dude Hardcore, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to tell me to show my face. I never once said that to the dude, you know what I'm saying? But since you want to bring it up, and they sit there on their channel and complain about that stuff, like, oh, people, when they have no argument, they always say this. And then he says these things. That's why they don't even use it on their own channel, because, like, what they really say is breaking what they say. Even though I don't say much, a simple question, that's why they run back to the same talking point, which they are wrong about, which is even more crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because they're wrong about the talking point that they run to. And that's what happened with every troll. They run to some other talking point, and I just don't get emotional because it make people turn up. And it's going to be people that come at us no matter what you build, and they're going to try to throw you off, and they're going to get somebody in their emotions, and somebody may or may not snitch, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you're right, Bobby. You're right. Y'all all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm making excuses here. So I'll let y'all say what y'all want to say. I'm gonna just preview what I was gonna show next time. I'll show it next time though, but y'all can say what y'all want to say first. So I don't want to keep y'all up. Any of y'all got something to say?
I'll just say one thing, bro. All skin folk ain't your kinfolk, brother. So when I hear you say, like, oh, this person is black, and it don't matter. It really don't matter, bro. The person who will bring, once again, destruction of a black civilization, bro. The people who brought down Africa was other black people, or mulattoes, or whatever you want to call them. So I don't prescribe to that, you know, because the crayon color box philosophy, bro. Because that'll get you, like, all of our, if you look at any black, you know, basically leader throughout the years, bro, the way they was brought down was other black folk. It wasn't a white person infiltrating and bringing them. It was another black person they sent to bring that person down. So we got to lose that whole attitude, bro. It's very tribalistic out here, man. It's very tribalistic. It's very ideological based out here, and you gotta play by the rules of the current era you're living in, man. And you gotta learn from your past and your history and stuff like that. So I hear you, brother. You know, I hear you in respecting other black people who come on your platform. But honestly, you don't even, like you said, you don't even know half these people is black. They won't even show their face, bro. They'll show their phone before they show their face. So to me, it's like, yo, you gotta be very discerning about what you do out here. You gotta be very discerning about who you let onto your platform to give them a voice. And like I said, I'm not criticizing you at all, man. I think you're doing a great job. You killing me in terms of fuck subscriptions. So I'm not knocking you. But yeah, so all skin folk ain't kinfolk, brother. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, and a lot of these people will lead to the destruction of actual black people if allowed to get their way, and they'll be happy about that because that's not their goal to uplift black folk. Their goal is to, you know, either individualistic or their goal is to succeed in this world and integrate. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. Like, all these people don't deserve a voice, don't deserve a platform, to be honest with you. But that's all I got, bro.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Black Magus.
Yeah, I'll just veg you back off of what D Web said, man, by bringing it even closer to the machinations of our enemy, man. Like, we don't, especially my generation, and then the generation under me, which I guess would be, you know, more along the lines of you forecast. We don't talk about COINTELPRO, and we don't talk about how it's still going on. When we see all of these mouthpieces out here who are further creating more schisms, all they're doing is creating those color rebellions that the CIA still does to this day on the continent by doing the tribalism and separating us from each other so that we don't come together on anything. Like, they make sure that they further the plans of Henry Kissinger with the Kissinger report that he, you know, released in 1974 in SSM 200, and then Memorandum 46. And because our people, again, my generation and your generation, don't understand that these are government documents created where you can honestly see that the American government has a reason to keep us like this, then we don't see that when we get these new mouthpieces, we don't understand that, yo, this is modern day COINTELPRO. Like, when we look at Tariq alone, now let's put it this way. When it comes to Tariq, the only people who are allowed to get all of this money and grift off of people by selling them hope, or as D Web nicely said, the hopium, is those under the umbrella of a church. They get that FBI money, that faith-based initiative money, right? And we know that they get that money from the government because they continue to elude the people, or to lull the people into sleep while they do any and everything that they want to do to us. So when we get transgressed upon, they know they can send out the religious leaders to lull the people back to sleep as further transgressions are brought upon us. Those are the only folk who don't get touched, as we know that these people steal billions from the black community, and nobody goes to go check their books. So how is it Tariq Nasheed, or Tariq Laisheed, as I like to call him, can amass the amount of wealth that he has and nobody's checking his books? Like, really? How is it that a Dane Calloway, or what's the one from ADOS? How is it that they get as far as they have without somebody looking at their books? Well, I know for a fact that the again, the ADOS chick, that she is actually promoted and funded by white nationalists. She's funded by white nationalists. And you're selling the black identity? How is that even possible? This is COINTELPRO. And as Bobby E. Wright told us in his book, black people only have been taught and trained to harm other black people. And so they will never raise a hand against their white masters. And that's all that these people are. So when they come over to your channel, to Bakari's channel, I've been on Tanzan's channel before they even go over to her channel and anybody else's channel that they go on. This is modern day COINTELPRO. Do we really believe that YouTube, a place where people can freely get their voice out, will not have dissension on it to keep black people at odds with each other? All we have to do is look at the gender war to see that. All we have to do is look at the passport bros, the malosphere, where they are legit saying black women just need to be our sexual turlets, but we should be able to go procreate with other groups of women. That means you want to kill off your entire species of being. We have to get back into studying the government programs that have been put in place and teaching those to our people so we understand what a modern day COINTELPRO looks like.
I would just, yeah, I'm not going to, say too much. The Black Magus, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole oppressive apparatus against black people is again poorly disseminated. Just on the common sense, type of natural intuitions that is publicly expressed by black people, we tend to publicly shy away from a lot of things, and a lot of times when, how do I say it, if instead of being precise, it goes back to like when with the Kanye West thing. It's like when Kanye West said George Bush doesn't care about black people, something to say like that kind of goes without saying in a sense. Like that, it's like that's an overreach. That's not something to say. That it's like it doesn't hit at something. It comes at a broadside. It's not witty. It's not witty. I don't like dim-wittedness bugs me, because it's not about being perfect, but there's a way to cut at an issue that's sharp, that doesn't land with a thud. And when I see public displays of black people, sometimes I see it land with a thud. It's not a clean, silent cut that leaves the oppressor just quivering and just, I'm just saying, just out of control and just like, just in a critical state. You know what I'm saying? I cherish seeing when black people put white people, oppressive, antagonistic people on the back foot, and it's just they're vulnerable. I relish that tactfulness that is missing sometimes. And I mean, when it comes to like knowing, not to be on camera and not to let them people come at you and try to be that person. Sometimes black people think all good publicity is good publicity, but that's only in a certain, figures of speeches ruin us because we don't see the entendres in a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to ramble, but like the nuances of what like of the COINTELPRO, the all of it, just media in general, that just gets us off of we work for 8, 9, 10 hours instead of like taking our people just naturally, just like instead of just going to our houses, we just have naturally already just built like centers where we're just like being, doing active civics. You know what I'm saying? Having active civics where it's like we're really like, you have people who are just out here counter programming at will and leaving. I mean, I can envision what it looks like, but it's like how we get our people from there is so difficult. Even the smallest steps of like assuming that what we're talking, when Malcolm X said, you can't give the people the whole truth. You have to give it in little pieces. I worry that sometimes when you can't kind of 1% it, because it's just not enough. You got to be able to 30 and 20 and 40% it, because it's not at a fast enough pace. I don't know. I worry that we're not able to fuel up the and just have a natural if I say something, it's like already. It's not like we're not, if I say something, I'm confident that you guys know what I'm saying. Cause I'm pretty confident you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's incredibly difficult to sort out what is nonsense, what's new business, what's old business, and to understand, how to exclude that which does not suit us. I'm going to stop on that.
All right. So yeah, and everything y'all said is definitely fair, and y'all definitely right, you know what I'm saying? And I'll definitely be better at what I need to do, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all y'all brothers definitely keeping it real, because we all need people to keep it real. But and I'll say this though, you know what I'm saying? I would still say, right, for me, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily invite somebody into my circle, you know what I'm saying, like who's not serious. Like when we start talking about serious stuff, I wouldn't be like, yo, everybody come along, you know what I'm saying? But like, especially on platforms like this where, you know what I'm saying, like all you get is the hits where if black people talk negative about black people, that's what we want to see. If we talk about positive things, we don't want to see that. And I intentionally don't be as hard on black people, especially on here, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to other people. And I think that we need to see brothers, and not to say that what y'all saying, the talking points definitely needed to be destroyed, and I definitely need to be doing a better job of that, you know what I'm saying? But like, I can name a whole lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, like that I really should have like said a whole lot of stuff to, and I regret not saying it, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'll say like, yo, even like when I was talking to the brother Pan-African Strikes Back, you know what I'm saying, sometimes every time what you want to say is like, it's just some hater stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like,
when did that happen, Forecast?
Yo, a while ago, you know what I'm saying, on Bukhari John. He don't really come on Bukhari John like that no more, but yo, I let it slide, but he tried to come at me like I was trying to boost up something else.
I gotta go find that.
Yeah, it was probably like last year though. It was a long time ago, but I let it slide, you know what I'm saying? And my homegirl told me, you know what I'm saying, stop doing that even back then, you know what I'm saying, Blue. But like, I mean, I could name a whole lot of people and a whole lot of things that a whole lot of people say, because there's a whole lot of tether energy that be around the circles. And I don't even use those terminologies because I don't believe in that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like y'all, but y'all right, you know what I'm saying? I definitely need to start turning up. But what I would say is like, yo, it's about, for me, like it's still about a system where I would never, like, even as a black person, I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't, give him my baby's life to, you know what I'm saying, hold or nothing like that. But I still be like, yo, this person is a sick victim of the whole system. The system need to be destroyed. Now, if he's standing in front of the person that you need to take out, so be it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, well, don't shoot because of that person, but you know what I'm saying? I'm still going at the head target, the people that everybody's afraid of. That's the people we got to take out. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But, and I would still say like, yo, they are I disagree when people say like, we are our own worst enemy. I disagree with that statement. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. But
I agree with you that I don't agree with that statement either, because then it's to say that that which was transgressed upon us is not being done.
Yeah, and so I'll do this right. And I'm not even going to show these Jones. Maybe I should have showed them. And if y'all got an opinion, y'all can't say the opinion real quick because I got to get off of here too. I was going to show this right because this is going to be old news by the time I probably go live again. That white bitch died, even though she had cancer, peacefully in her bed. You know what I'm saying? So we was going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I'll skip that one. I could show that some of these other stuff later. Oh yeah, you mentioned the passport bros, yo. I was gonna show what this Asian girl said about the passport bros, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to show something positive. I was gonna show a young brother going to a HBCU, because like I'll be making jokes with Bukhari, so I wanted to show something positive with HBCU. But I do want to show something positive, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show this video. Hopefully it's no whatever, but with black men and being mentors to black boys, you know what I'm saying? Because this stuff we need to see, you know. So I want to end with something positive.
Dad ever gave him a hug? He said
this happened.
One of the mentors asked the boys if his dad ever gave him a hug. He said no. Then this happened.
They going to get their hug. Need a hug, bro? Come on, bro. Love you, dog.
You come and give me the church.
That's what's up, y'all. That's what's up.
So yeah, well,
Hey guys,
so yeah, man. I wanted to end with something positive. What y'all think about that?
Hey man, I can't lie. That's actually bringing a tear to my eye, man. Because it was a beautiful thing to see, and we need more of that. And I will also say that that white bitch dying that's still a good note, though justice still wasn't served. We can go piss on that bitch's grave.
RBG D Web.
No, I agree. It's like you know what I'm saying. None but I stepped away. I just saw the last bit of it, but you know what I'm saying. I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well, yo. It's a balance in there, which I think the kind of older generation didn't get. Whereas terms of, you know, showing some affection to the males, you know, showing affection to your sons, give them a hug, yo. That's some simple shit, you know what I mean? And we kind of forgot that, you know, that we kind of lost that, and so that was a beautiful thing to see, man. That was a beautiful thing to see, and you know, like, man, your sons are your sons, man. We understand we're trying to raise a masculine generation, but man, bro, give your kid a hug, bro. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so that's a positive thing. I appreciate you putting that up, Forecast, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's definitely a good thing to see, man. And I appreciate all of y'all brothers for coming on here, and you know, and I definitely, y'all definitely right. You know what I'm saying? I get better. You know what I'm saying? I'm improving. And by the way, Black Megas, that's what I wanted to say. You was like, waking up process. Like some people go through 30 years. I'm like, I'm in my 30-something year now. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to wake up because not all of us get this knowledge like this. And sometimes we have to learn the hard way. And that's what I was going to say about the older generation, not giving up on the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though like you like, I've been there and done that, you got to understand, we don't understand that. Like, you could tell your kid, don't put your hand in the fire, but sometimes, right, your kid won't understand why not to put my hand in the fire until they really get burnt. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes there's nothing you could do but be there to guide them when they do that, instead of distancing yourself. And like, even if we make mistakes, because I'm gonna make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? I was watching basketball up until the Kyrie Irving thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going through my denegrification process, you know what I'm saying? Like, the coon chip was installed in us when we was born in the hospital, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I'm working on deactivating my coon chip, you know what I'm saying, too. So, you know what I'm saying? But I still have that feeling for Black people. But
yo, let me say something real quick, Forecast, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You never should apologize for being yourself, bro. You more diplomatic, bro. That's who you are. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You provide a balance. You know what I'm saying? You feel a sympathy for these type of people, and that's good, bro. That's a good thing, bro. You want to try to get to these people. You want to try to save these people. You want to try to impart your knowledge, because I got like this 5 stages of consciousness book I wanted to write, but you're at a certain stage where you want to share your knowledge because you're learning so much. And ain't nothing wrong with that. So I never want to discourage you from being yourself, man. I don't want you to take it like that. I don't think I want you to take anything that we're saying as that type of criticism, because it is good. We need people like you. You feel me? To provide a balance for hostile motherfuckers like me. We need people like you. You know what I'm saying? So do not ever take it like that. I think you should continue on your mission and do whatever your heart draws you to do. If it feels like you should talk to these people more, you should do that. You know what I'm saying? So don't take that criticism as that, man. Take it as, nah, because I hear you saying like, oh, I'm trying to do better. Nah, you need to do you, bro. You need to be yourself and do what you feel as far as your platform, bro. Don't ever feel like you need to uphold anybody's standards of how you need to conduct yourself on your own platform, because, you know, the universe will even shit out, man. It will tell you what you need to do. So yeah, it's just not what I would do, you know what I'm saying, or what maybe Black Magus would do, or what RBG would do. But that's fine, bro. You know, operate in yourself, stay within yourself, stay grounded, bro, and you will find your own way, man. Don't ever think you gotta adhere to anybody else's standards. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly. To add on to that, brother, man, it's you. He study who your influences are, right? Your own spiritual ancestors. Maybe you'll find that you come from a delineated line of actual judges. We do need somebody to be able to bridge that gap in communication. It's not going to be all of us who are trying to save everybody, because we understand, some of us do understand that, you know, that's just going to be a big waste of time. Sometimes we just need to build with those who are like-minded, those who are serious-minded. But those who we are leaving behind, there still has to be somebody doing the work to go and save them. Like, the nuggets that we can plant in some people might not be able to be watered by us. It can be watered by you. And that's probably where your skill trait is at with that. The only thing that I'm saying on the tailoring of that is just to, on a public platform where you want to keep things to a certain extent and you want to get your point across, don't give them so much talk time. And that's why I was suggesting the actual debate. That way there you get to 100% control how much time they're given to actually espouse and expose their talking points.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely say a strong debate format is a good thing, because like you want a debate to be about the points. You know, these, a lot of, you know, what we called, what a lot of people, I will say, just for, you know what I'm saying, you know, describe as debates are more like, you know, elaborate slander matches. You know what I'm saying? And what winds up happening is you remember who got dug in the most with a cogent point, while there's a lot of like, back in the day before television and before you were able to replay a debate, you actually had to in earnest say your point in front of the people, and what you said had to be sound, and it was what it was, and everyone in that room benefited from the soundness of the debate. And it wasn't about who was better, it was about establishing your point. You know, when we talk about the great debaters and just classic debate, you know, there was no rewinds on these things. Like honestly, I would say the best debates were those that we never really like replayed, because we just heard about them. And maybe they were, maybe they were recorded, but it's like, it's not like the way that like a lot of like debates feel like they try to copy the style of another type of debate. The whole you know, the ambiance and the style of engagement. I mean, a good debate should just be on its own, and it shouldn't be about, you know, this person doesn't. It should never have anything to do with this person doesn't know what they're talking about. You know, as soon as you involve that, it's not really a strong debate. It's just about being sure that you know what you know and you know what the other guy knows. That's the best debater, knows both sides of the debate.
Yeah, well, you know, and first of all, let me say, I appreciate what y'all saying, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, like, I want the criticism, because, like, you know, I don't take it personally. Like, these are things that, a lot of the things that y'all are right about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do, like, give a lot of passes to Black people where I probably shouldn't do that, you know what I'm saying? And as far as debate, you know what I'm saying, it's not that, I don't know how to put it. It's not that I'm trying to change his mind or debate that brother. That brother probably could not be personally in a debate, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the way that he is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and every person is different, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he is a bit harder. That's why I normally wouldn't kick somebody else off, because they have more discipline, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with Dwayne, he start interrupting, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, he don't be as bad as that, you know what I'm saying? But, like, even when they be on, like I don't understand. Like, I know for me myself, I'm a visual learner, you know what I'm saying? And this is not like apologizing or nothing like that, because like y'all absolutely right. I gotta be who I am 100%. And so like I want y'all to continue to tell me, you know what I'm saying, when I need to be tougher and when I don't need to. That's why I'll tell y'all, you know what I'm saying, I don't believe in one person running something. But at the same time, like, I don't know, man. I'll just leave it at that, you know what I'm saying? And I'll, if any of y'all brothers, because it's super late, you know what I'm saying, it's mad long anyway. So
let's go ahead and close it out, man.
All right, so I'm saying y'all give y'all last statements. Y'all could give y'all platforms. Go ahead, Black Magus. You've been on here for the whole time.
So, Black Magus, follow me on Instagram on Black Family Vanguard. That's all one word. Also follow Black Magus on otwtube.com. That's a uncensored free speech platform. I actually got with the producer and I've been given the keys to the entire platform. So I do plan on actually doing interviews with people once I get my tech right. For now, I can do like at least some monologue programs on there. And it does, let me see, all broadcasting is done through the platform, and you can listen to those shows on the Wake Up Radio.com, and it also streams to Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. So follow me on Black Family Vanguard. You can also follow Black Magus on Instagram, but when you send that follow request, you gotta let me know who you are and why you want to actually follow, because that's my personal, and I don't let just any and everybody into my personal space.
All right, RBG, and I'll make Black Magus and D-Web so y'all can put y'all channels in the chat. Like anything y'all want to put in the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and make y'all moderators real quick. But go ahead, RBG.
I appreciate the insights of all of you men. I can't say that enough. I mean, I feel enriched, you know what I'm saying, just by, you know what I'm saying, engaging with what we're talking about. I feel as if, you know what I'm saying, it's good, you know what I'm saying. I feel like even though we all come from different, perspectives, you know what I'm saying, I think that it's like the hand and the fist, you know what I'm saying, we all have different, personalities, but we all understand that, you know what I'm saying, we're, you know what I'm saying, where all this comes from. And I think that I just want to say that I genuinely respect, you know what I'm saying, the opinions and the ambitions of all three of you. That's all I wanted to say. I truly, whatever I can do to contribute, you know what I'm saying, I let me know, and I you know what I'm saying, I'll do what I can. You know what I'm saying, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, and as far as me, D-Web, I'm with the Harsh Reality Podcast, part of the KWAZ radio family, along with Forecast and Bakari and a bunch of others. We need to get Real Black Gentleman RBG a pod himself, man. I like the way you think, bro. But you can check us out, man. We did a live tonight. And Tanzan joined us. Salute to Tanzan. She's been in the chat. Also part of the KWAZ radio family. And of course, subscribe to us, man. We on YouTube, we on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. So if you want to hear the live versions, we go live at Sundays at 8:15 p.m. But of course, the playbacks available on any platform at any time, man. We salute to you, Forecast, man, for bringing me on, man, inviting me onto your platform. Let me spout off a little bit, good brother as always, and very honored to be on the same platform as you, the same channel as you. Salute to Koku for putting all this stuff together. So that's all I got, brother. Salute to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on here, and you're a moderator, so you can put your channel in the chat. Tanzan, you put your channel in the chat too. I made Bobby everybody who got a channel. I'm trying to put them in the chat. And Black Magus, you got to say something again. I can't get to your comments, so you got to say something for I could make you a moderator.
I did. I was posting my information in there, but it didn't come up under a moderator. But I put everything in there.
No, I'm saying you
do it right now.
Yeah, you got to just say a comment because I can't get to any of your comments. So you just got to say something so I can make you a moderator. That's why.
I did. I literally while RBG was talking, I was putting everything in there. You gonna see it in the chat?
Let me see. Maybe in the back chat.
No, on the YouTube.
No,
you saying put it in this chat.
No, you gotta just say like a regular comment because you can't put a link until I make you a moderator.
Ah, got you.
Yeah.
Boom, a BB4 Hodier.
I got you. So now I'm gonna make you a moderator real quick, and then you can post what you want to post in there. Let me see. There you go. All right, there you go. So now you can post whatever you need to post in there. So
all right, boom, there it is.
All right. So yeah, and now again, I appreciate all yeah, definitely, man. And I appreciate all of y'all brothers and everybody who've been listening the whole time. And I think thank you to everybody who've been supporting the Black History thing. And I'm gonna try to get the timing right, so like I don't go on when D-Web go on. I'd be like mismanaging weeks or whatever, but I'd be lost in the sauce sometimes. But so y'all subscribe to D-Web, Tanzan, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna play this while they get a chance, and then we're gonna close out. I'm gonna play this one more time because we need to see stuff like this more often. You know what I'm saying?
One of the mentors asked the boys if his dad ever gave him a hug. He said no. Then this happened.
Need a hug, bro. Come on, bro. Love you, dog.
You come and give me the church.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, that's what's up. You guys.
All right, man. So yeah, that's what's up, y'all. And I appreciate all of y'all for watching and for listening. I appreciate y'all brothers for joining. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're going to keep falling for anything.